I'm out here in the cold night, running till I barely feel my feet. Wanna see it through my own eyes. There's no going back, and I'm not afraid anymore. Cause I know I'm gonna be the last one standing. Yeah, I'm not afraid anymore. Yeah, I don't wanna wait anymore. I'm ready to fall, I'm ready to rise up. I will do what it takes, I'll run blind straight into the flames. Watch me burn, alone in the shadows. I'll carry you home on my back. If it's you or me, then I'll take the shot. Take me down. See that I'm surrounded by predators. It's critical, they got me in my element. It's dirty how you trying to keep it elegant. Keep my eyes open wide when everyone around me is an enemy. See my life cross my eyes. I'm ready to fall, I'm ready to rise up. I will do what it takes. If it's you, take the shot. Still they say I'm the villain. I scream and nobody listens. Still they say I'm the villain. Too bad you can't take me down. Too bad you can't take me down. You can't take me down. I'm ready to fall, I'm ready to rise up. I will do what it takes, I'll run blind straight into the flames. Watch me burn, alone in the shadows. I'll carry you home on my back. If it's you or me, then I'll take the shot. Still they say I'm the villain. I scream and nobody listens. Still they say I'm the villain. Too bad you can't take me down.
我的精神也很顽强，你掌握不了我是宣扬，天空变化莫测，境况让人深思。可失败了你也都没办法，你的安排像灾祸，在我看来你帮就无奈，你没胜利也不受崇拜。I'm a great, I go way up and paving my way through the smoke and the flame and the cold and the rain. Yeah, you wanna be me, but I stand out. You on flat earth looking at my cloud. Standing tall through the test. Standing tall through the test. 我的精神也很顽强，你掌握不了我是宣扬，天空变化莫测，境况让人深思。可失败了你也都没办法，你的安排像灾祸，在我看来你帮就无奈，你胜利也不受崇拜。Standing tall through the test. Standing tall through the test. 你看我的 set 就知道我的团队在团结。Team is the best， 他们值得 respect， 我们之间有巨大的差别。连我妈妈也叫我永远的神。我一回家，她说大儿子你很 tough。一直不带不能被取代，比我更努力的人也不存在。到时我起来和点酸奶直接出来那战斗舞台。Great, I go way up and paving my way through the smoke and the flame and the cold and the rain. If you wanna be me, but I stand out. You're on flat earth looking at my cloud. Standing tall through the test. Standing tall through the test. Standing tall through the test. 我的精神也很顽强， 强，你掌握不了，我是宣扬天空变化莫测，境况让人牵涉，可是败了你也都没办法，你的安排像灾祸，在我看来你帮着无奈，你的胜利也不受崇拜。我的精神也很顽强，你掌握不了，我是宣扬天空变化莫测，境况让人牵涉，可是败了你也都没办法，你的安排像灾祸，在我看来你帮着无奈，你的胜利也不受。Stand tall to the test， 咱们值得 respect。Stand tall to the test， 咱们值得 respect。精神也很顽强，你掌握不了，我是宣扬天空变化莫测，境况让人牵涉，可是败了你也都没办法，你的安排像灾祸，在我看来你帮着无奈。And now we still go ape， hey。Standing tall to the test， Standing tall to the test。咱们值得 respect。Standing tall to the test。
ringtone. And I won't cut my eye. Running fist fire, scare no risk. Go pop one ring, go break one bench. I pop missile if I wish I put one pistol on my head. Was popping and popping, love in the morning. Blue come over to come in the morning. Vogue in the flick, poster forming. Confident boy run a halo on me. Jealous in the NBO, fill up in the air. I be hitting minimal when I'm on the air. Yeah, boy so pitiful, wanna be my pet. Oh well, good boy, catch a bone on the stair. Renegade, let's go. 24. Let him move blood with a kick home. Pedal on a pedal with an O3 kit. Vroom boom, up 400 dash roll. Cut through C100 D and move. Get lifted, body new get cool. Let's do flat over your head. Body up another on me. Skittle my life. Skittle. Green pet flavor. Take all the vibes. Right side center. Pesky side. I need to spin it. Blind with a face, spin relay on this light. We gon' see where to take off. I am the chosen one, that's how I feel. I ain't tripping on rewind. The blessing I got from the angels around me are really some A1. I am the chosen one, that's how I feel. I ain't tripping on rewind. The blessing I got from the angels around me are really some A1.
Renegade, 为心将我包围。Renegade， 浓雾自我击坠。雨落下，扣紧我外套。夜蓝车穿梭在轨道。你不想成为我目标。Renegade， go home。 we back again. Tell your mother, brother, sister, and your friends. We back again, we back again. I'm bouncing up before they count to 10. We back again, we back again. Tell your mother, brother, sister, and your friends. We back again, we back again. I'm bouncing up before they count to 10. We back again, we back again. Tell your mother, brother, sister, and your friends. We back again, we back again. I'm bouncing up before they count to 10. We back again, we back again. Tell your mother, brother, sister, and your friends. We back again, we back again. I'm bouncing up before they count to 10. We back again, we back again. Tell your mother, brother, sister, and your friends. We back again, we back again. I'm bouncing up before they count to 10. We back again, we back again. Tell your mother, brother, sister, and your friends.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're back with more action here at VALORANT Challengers Southeast Asia, rest of Southeast Asia qualifiers. My name is Colden, and joined with me for the broadcast here today, none other than Mr. Multitudes himself. And we have, had a couple of weeks of fun, of competition, but here today, we're here to settle things once and for all. Who's going to be the new formed champions at rest of Southeast Asia? The old kings have fallen. It's a new king to be crowned here today, and I can't wait to get things started.
I can't disagree with any of that sentiment. To be honest, I am brimming with excitement here to really showcase the next RoSEA era, the next RoSEA kingdom here for rest of Southeast Asia. And boy, do we have a banger of a series ahead of us. And, we're going to talk and set up shop for the final matchup here in the grand finals for today. But boy, has it been a journey so far. I mean, just 3 weeks ago, starting with that top 8 series for the split 2, and just whittling down some some of the expected wins didn't quite go people's way, some surprise visits here and there, and really comes down to the final 2 here, Golden.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I think we had one of the most intense competitive splits we've ever had in our region, all the way back to Malaysia, Singapore, MYSG, back then, way back when, last year, and so on and so forth. But here, I think this has been the most competitive it's ever been. We've had so many upsets, we've had so many incredible runs from different teams, and MYSG, no representatives in the grand finals, hurts me a little bit to say that, but at the same time, I'm so happy that we have so many new faces. A lot of Zoomers in the server as well. The 2 unks here, kind of envious of their age. But yeah, it's a crazy story. That's why we're here yapping and they're in the server playing. But it's still impressive, right? We've got so many new names, so many new teams that are making a name for themselves. And going into the next year or so, going to the future, these could be those names that you remember back when, that might hit over to tier 1, might put on an incredible type of performance in the future.
It's absolutely true, right? This is basically the beginnings, the start of the storybook for many of these young players, many of these budding youngsters, the young blood in the server, certainly trying to make a name for themselves, and guided by some of the more established folks as well. So some of them really looking to guide and hone in some of their friends or brethren's kind of skill sets. And speaking of honing in, we've got ourselves the final kind of honed in brackets here for the double elimination, top 8 down to top 2 for RoSEA Split 2. I mean, boy, has it been a crazy one. Wait, which one do you think is one of the more impactful kind of matchups that you've seen so far, Colden?
Oof, wow, you're giving me a lot
That's
to
a
dissect
tough one.
here.
I know, that's a tough one.
That is a rough one.
That's
like
a
we've
tough
had
one.
Motive losing all the way from the upper brackets, eliminated by the 2 teams that are currently in the grand finals, by the way.
Right.
We've had Unsigned 5 going on an incredible run, but then again crumbling when the pressure is at its highest up against 2 grand finalists again. So yeah, it's a lot of different conversations, a lot of different storylines that we could dive into. But the 2 teams that are right here in the grand finals and who have actually qualified to Challengers Southeast Asia Split 2 for the main event, it's going to be none other than Trinity from Mongolia, as well as XLB from Hong Kong, Taiwan / China. Both of these teams incredible in their own rights. Very, very cool storylines. The team that didn't have a region before this year, Trinity, now comes in, takes over Split 2. XLB, the Bilibili Gaming Academy and youth players deciding, hey, let's make a name for ourselves. We're ranked number 1, number 2 on the leaderboards in China. Might as well put it on the server here in an official team with one of the best brains that MYSG has got to offer in their history. So yeah, these 2 squads, top of their game and deservedly so here in the grand finals to determine who's going to be their crown champion.
Yeah, it's a little bit for the pride and glory, but it's also for seeding. Yeah, they both successfully made their way into the next stage, which will be, the entire Southeast Asia Split 2. And, Trinity is no stranger from that type of pressure when it scales up to a larger continental stage. XLB will really have to prove themselves, but I think, we're going to step right into the storytelling right now for both these teams, because XLB has had a tremendous lower bracket run, right? Starting right off the rip, falling to their knees against Unsigned 5, and then it's just a climb up to the top. And the revenge arc yesterday against Unsigned 5 themselves in a best of 5, didn't even need to go into a map 4 or 5, cleaned shop, Colden. If any team is on a momentous rise, it is them.
Yeah, it's incredible redemption story in a sense, right, for XLB. Going to that first matchup, as you mentioned, they looked so nervous up against Unsigned 5. They did not play their game. They looked all over the place, right? Pushing into positions where they shouldn't have. Unsigned 5 played an incredible series that day. But after that, I think Styron sat down the squad and told them, hey guys, you guys just need to calm down, play our game, find their confidence again. And that's when they were able to have that lower bracket run all the way to the grand finals. But meeting them right at that top of the mountain is none other than Trinity themselves. I mean, this squad, trials and tribulations all the way back in Split 1, where they qualified through the Premier qualifier, right? Not even in RoSEA, but coming through Premier, making it to a top 5th and 6th position in the Southeast Asia playoffs. Now they're coming in full force. They've proven that their win against Motive back in Split 1 wasn't a fluke. 2-0 Motive in the series so far. And yeah, really pushed themselves into that top front seat after a dominant showing up against Unsigned 5. This squad is just full of potential. Satnas as kind of like that entry duelist. There's Zoomer on the squad. Decoy, one of the highest rated players so far in the playoffs. But opposite them, sits a team that we've been talking about quite a bit, Multi.
Yeah, Xiaolong Bao, a bit of a mixed bag from their perspective. A lot of nationalities coming together, but they're no stranger to some of the more interesting plays. We've seen some interesting compositions that we'll talk about when we hit the map picks and bans when those turn up. But they're not. They're willing to experiment a little bit as well, and as and when the situation calls for it, there's a lot of players that are really able to step up to the plate. We're talking about Casey, we're talking about like FT's performance yesterday was incredible. All right, Casey did steal, I think, MVP a couple times from FT themselves, but FT with some devious Cypher and Viper plays on a couple of maps really sealed the deal against Unsigned 5 yesterday. And of course, helming it will be Styron, almost like the father figure for many of these players, to be able to guide them towards the right spot, the right zone. And that's part of the game plan, right? To be able to take all this firepower that XLB individuals have and to be able to harness it in the right move and the right motive towards a victorious win.
Yeah, and speaking about a victorious win, these two players on the screens right now, very instrumental for their respective teams. Decoy, as I mentioned, one of the highest rated players in the playoffs. I think he is actually, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, I mean this guy is just on a tear so far. He has been instrumental. Actually, no, not the highest rated player, but one of the highest rated players for his squad. Highest ACS, yes, that's what I was thinking about. Yes, highest ACS in the playoffs so far. Instrumental being that secondary duelist behind Satnas, one of the star players, and Kasilsi, by far and away that star player potential for XLB. He has been putting on incredible numbers, not just on duelist roles. He's been playing sentinel roles, controller roles, everything that this team needs him to play, he's been able to deliver. And to deliver in spades as well. Number 1 ranked on the Chinese leaderboards is an incredible feat. And being so young as well, 2009, 16, 17 years old, he's already putting on this kind of numbers. I think one of his first officials on a team, and being able to be in the grand finals already, instantly qualified to Southeast Asia. He is putting proof in the pudding. He is putting the proof in the concept right here on the server, and he's delivered in spades whenever this team requires him to do so.
I agree, and these two head-to-heads are actually instrumental, because if you just cast your memory a little bit far back into the open qualifiers, it was actually when Trinity was versus XLB, and this was the only loss that Trinity has had in both OQs leading into groups, into playoffs as well. So it is very important to study that in terms of, okay, who was making the big plays. We had both Decoy as well as Casey making a lot of these moves. I mean, Casey, Decoy, I think for the second map, dropped like a 25 bomber on that bind, but was still unable to really pull the rest of the team forward. And eventually was a reverse sweep away from XLB to steal away the win from Trinity. So a lot of history that these two teams are kind of wrestling with to come into terms into this grand finals. And the head-to-head talks a lot about that, but also want to talk about some of the people who have maybe greatly improved since then, right? We look back onto the head-to-head, the likes of Batan plus the likes of Xiaofeng, right? Maybe didn't do so well during those games, but has improved in spades and leaps and bounds since then. And those I'm expecting to be the linchpin, right? The domino that tilts in one or the other's favor to say, yes, we've put in the work since we've last met, and this is why we're gonna get the dub.
Yeah, exactly that, right? Batank as well as Xiaofeng, as you mentioned. I think Batank right now is like the number 1 rated player in the playoffs. Xiaofeng has improved immensely in terms of his impact. He looks a lot more comfortable compared to his first showing up against Unsigned 5 in their first round of the playoffs. He's been finding impact upon impact, and when this team, when XLB, they're known to have 2, as I like to call them, Thanoses on the squad already. Xiaofeng is like the Thanos with 1 Infinity Stone. He's not like the crazy guy that's going to put on massive amounts of damage, but he's good enough to be that third line of a defense, of an attack for this XLB squad. Always there in case his duelists do falter, picking up where his teammates left off, finding a lot of impact, assisting Styron on those calls as the controller. And Batank, I mean, as the initiator, he's really stepped up to the plate, showing that, hey, this squad of Trinity likewise isn't just spearheaded by the 2 duelists. As the initiator player, as one of the most difficult roles to play, he's been putting up crazy numbers as well. So these 2 players having incredible upgrade stories heading into this grand finals. I think it's lovely to see this kind of hit-to-hit clash. And yeah, it's really cool to see how players have developed here and there across this playoff so far. And I think we have our map vetoes as well, multitudes. We've got a ban of Fracture from Trinity to kick things off. And since Trinity do come in from the upper brackets, they have that double ban. So Breeze going to be their second option, which is a bit surprising, right, Multi? Because usually Trinity do ban out the Fracture and the Pearl, but instead they're targeting the Breeze. What do you think of that?
That is fascinating. You know, I spent a little time kind of studying Trinity and XLB's tendencies around map picks, and also, you know, Fracture, no surprise. That has been Trinity's ban from day one. We haven't seen them play on Fracture at all, and it's more than likely, you know, something that they don't want to prep for and just insta ban out. But Breeze is interesting because I actually expected them to ban out Pearl as their second most common map ban from that perspective, but they've gone with for Breeze. Both teams have had Breeze experience in the past a little bit, but I think you pointed out pretty well that XLB runs a very particular Breeze composition, right? A lot of walls, a lot of visual breakers from their composition that makes it really hard to stall out or regain map control without a massive utility counter dump from the Trinity side. So maybe that's something that Trinity aren't ready to play around with. Instead, we go for Split Haven, Vine, Lotus, and Pearl. The first three being the same best of three that we saw these two play off in the open qualifiers not too long ago.
Yeah, it's a rematch, I guess you could say, in terms of the maps as well, not just in terms of the teams and the server. As you mentioned, Split Haven and Bind gotta be those maps that we saw them face up against each other in the open qualifiers. And yeah, I do agree with your point, right? The Breeze composition that XLB plays is a little bit weird, right? You've got it's the Harbor, Viper, Neon, and Phoenix, like 4 agents with walls that you can just throw up, which is kind of scary. So I can see why they do ban it out. It's not a map that Trinity frequent too often as well. So I can see that the idea coming in from them. Instead, they're gonna leave Pearl open, right? So they're gonna float that map. They're not gonna pick it though. They're gonna leave it to that last map as a decider. So we won't see how that one pans out unless we go to 5 maps. If Trinity require it, if Trinity need that 5th map, maybe we go there. But that's the question, right? Do we even reach a 5th map, Multi? Like, what is your prediction so far? What do you think about the maps that we have? Because again, yeah, those 3 maps that we are getting to kick things off are maps that we've seen before when they previously played, but 2 of those maps have gone 13-11 to either team's favor.
Right.
It's very back and forth. It could go either way.
It could absolutely go either way, which is the terrifying prospect, right? Again, Trinity, yes, had double bans right off the rip, but also had the privilege of picking the first map, which was Split. And Split was the one that they did win against XLB during the previous best of 3 during OQs, albeit by a thin hairline margin of 13-11. So this is, and it was a mirror composition back then as well, right? Double controller, double duelist, with a Sky as an initiator to lead the charge, and it really came down to, you know, trying to outwit the enemy and trying to out-aim the enemy from that perspective, and leaving that. It's so hard for me to make a prediction apart from, you know, what I said basically on Twitter with you. I'm still thinking that XLB wins this out. It's just a matter of I can absolutely see this going the distance, right? I can absolutely see this playing out all the way to Pearl, and then we get to see them play Pearl for the first time. I don't think we've actually seen either or play Pearl on... No, we haven't. And this will be a lot of firsts if we do reach that map 5. We didn't even get to see map 4 yesterday because of how things were tucked away so quickly. And so I truly believe that these both teams have leveled up since they last saw each other through either the upper or lower brackets, beating up beasts like Motive and Rivals, and are able to come here and stand saying, no, we've got ourselves a game to play.
Yeah, with that being said, Multi, I have to push you for your prediction. What do you think is going to be outcome here in this grand final between Trinity as well as XLB? You've laid out your case, so I want to hear it straight from your mouth.
I am a huge proponent of momentum, right? I think emotions play such a humongous part, right? And to quote some streamers, you can just turn up on a server and are absolutely feeling it. And I think the players from XLB right now are riding the sky high cloud 9 from series past.
That's a team in Americas, right? They're not here.
Well, yeah, no, riding Cloud9 being riding the highs, the emotional highs, not the actual
Sorry,
team name
I'm just
itself. Thank
spilling
you for
your
calling
leg.
me out. Yes, I know, but yeah, I think that plays a lot, and that's why I really think the XLB are gonna take it home today.
Okay, I see. You
How
are
about you?
riding the XLB train. You're believing in Styron's IGLing, right? Our last representative from MYSG. For me, though, I am siding with this Trinity. I believe that they've got that experience under their belt all the way in Split 1. I think they have that veterancy. They've proven themselves up against teams like Motive as well as Unsigned 5. And I think up against XLB, they might just be able to turn up the heat even more. Like, I think peak-wise, XLB, yes, might have that highest high, but the floor, I think, from Trinity is much higher than the floor of XLB. In terms of the compositions that they do bring, I think it has that level of consistency. Some of the XLB compositions leaves me a little bit awkward, but for the most part, I like the map pool coming in from Trinity. I like that they come in with a very interesting map veto as well. Floating that Pearl, potential for map 5 if we do reach there. But other than that, yeah, I am a believer of the Mongolian overlords. I think the era is finally upon us. It's taken a while, but once they had a chance to participate in a VCT regional tournament, I think they've proven their worth already. This is just the second split the Mongolians have been here, and they're already dominating.
A lot of points. I do agree with you on that front, and I think just to elaborate that map pick and veto strategy, it's something that just came to mind might be that they really just want to tuck it away. They think that they let Pearl float because they are maybe a little bit more confident based on the last time that they met up with XLB, that they're able to really
split
put
1, to be fair.
They have indeed, that is true, and they've shown that they have a few tricks up their sleeve. And so I think that Trinity are just maybe hedging upon the fact that they're able to tuck this in 3-4 maps and put this one before even triggering that decider, to say the least. So I think only time will tell, obviously, as we head to the servers. But Trinity and XLB both look phenomenal so far in their track records, and I think even outside this particular talent between me and you, the other cast is also kind of split down the middle in terms of who they're rooting for between Trinity and XLB.
Yeah, I think it's 3-3 in terms of the talent predictions. Unfortunately, Multi, I don't want to call you out on broadcast, but if you lose this one, you're gonna pie the predictions.
I am.
You gotta hope that your boys on XLB actually bring it home here today. Hopefully that Styron calls an incredible series. I think we haven't even talked about the IGLing, right? Because I think that's a very big storyline as well. Styron, taking out his former teammates. XLB on that low bracket run have taken down all of the MYSG teams. Motive they've eliminated, Rival they've eliminated, Unsigned 5 they've eliminated. So Styron, a representative from MYSG, single-handedly calling his team to an elimination of all 3 MYSG teams here in the playoffs. This guy has an incredible read of the game. I mean, in that game versus Motive, I think, despite Motive having so many proficient players, so many experienced players, Styron was able to read them like a book. Beautiful calling. Somehow was able to orchestrate his academy and youth players to a caliber where it seems like they've elevated far and above what they should be. Right? At this level of experience, they're showing up with incredible macro reads, incredible rotations, very good understanding of how to play a lot of these maps. So I think the leadership in the side of XLB has got to be top tier. I mean, he's led his team to how many challenger wins already under his belt. So it's not going to be an easy task for Trinity because yes, they've got the IGL of Daiki. Yes, he's got impact, but he doesn't have that experience that Styron has at the highest level.
Yeah, but it can go either way, to be honest, right? If you have the firepower of the Mongolians by your side, Trinity, that's where they might shine. And speaking of firepower, we bring ourselves straight into the first map here. Split is on the agenda as the appetizer of this 5-meal course, and of course, it's going to be the exact same matchup, the exact same 5-stack across the lines for both teams that we saw in games past. The double duelist, double controller, single sky initiator to lead the charge here.
It's that mirror matchup that we did mention about. Same matchup that they had in their previous head-to-head. Exactly the same. In fact, scoreline was 13-11, Trinity's favor. This is Trinity's map pick. They're hoping to replicate that, perhaps do even better than they did in that head-to-head. They've had some good wins so far already since then, right? Solid victories over, if I'm not mistaken, Unsigned 5 as well as Galaxy Rain. A loss against Motive Esports leaves me a little bit, cautious for them, worried for them perhaps. But at the same time, they showed an incredible split up against Unsigned 5 the other day. So yeah, if they can replicate that form, who knows what might happen. XLB themselves also a very successful win up against Unsigned 5. Also same score actually, 13-4. Both of these teams taking down the third place team in a similar scoreline. So who's gonna come out victorious here today, Multi? I can't wait to get things started.
Yeah, and I love to think that it really comes down to, again, the map understanding, right? It is, with the mirror matchup, it's how you want to position and place your agents and how you gain map control in this rather small arena. Cases are really going in. Doesn't refract, gets the drop on Sebastian, nice and quick. It has to evacuate, but doesn't evacuate far enough. It'll be the B hit though that 140 has to deal with.
Just as fast as the action starts on A, the spike is lost in the mix on this B side. Out of the smoke though, and they just take all the fights. Trinity just standing right at the door, slamming it shut. So 1 versus 2, and FT won't even get past 140. Trinity strike first, pistol win for them.
Yeah, Trinity, nice calmness, right? Not too wary about the waylay. In fact, a little interested to push up, knowing that there's no other utilities that they saw on that B side to catch the refract just as it came on. And with the rest of the teammates hunkered down here, 140 able to clean up shop towards that tail end. Trinity, just like that series past, picks up pistol.
Speaking of pistols, I think XLB have not lost both pistols in any map they've played in the playoffs. Every single map that they've played, they've never lost both pistols. Always one, sometimes both. So already, on the back foot here, things off on the second round. It's an attempt in towards ramps. Stays though with the Bucky. Shotgun yet to get nerfed here. It's a live patch. Daiki catching a pill down towards mid. Straight back on towards the Rams, but Tank now picks up that space.
Down A.
Drops the spike. Smoke allows Xiaofeng to go through. I say that before Tank as a great read of the situation, but Kasilsi, alright, making things a bit costly here. 3 players already down.
I have the
Good
spike.
damage so far. Let's see if he can find more. Picks up a Guardian. Audio cues being heard, but Trinity don't want to give him an opportunity. It's 2 isolated 1v1s though. They're not together at all. Kasilsi has an opportunity here.
Yeah, that's the dicey part, right? You're up against the star duelist here for the Xiaolongbao, and Trinity are caught kind of halfway across the map each way, so they'd rather come in for maybe a double retake, almost venturing up from screens. But the Sky thinks otherwise, so really wanting to make sure they come together and make a play. Waiting for 140 to venture their way back up. The dog does eventually stun in spot. This might be the opportunity to get themselves back on this side here.
Paranoia comes through. 140 just jumps down from heaven. Lands a nice shot with the Marshall. Will minimize damage there, but still not too shabby from XLB. They've got 3 kills. Broken arm, one of the 140's armor. And also got that spike down, so really good stuff for the economy. They should be able to buy up some stuff for this anti-bonus round coming up, but Zace, this is the type of stuff you expect to see here on Split. Shotguns abound. Very common weapon. And with the nerf yet to come into play, I mean, I won't be surprised that the double duelist compositions will absolutely make the most out of this, I guess, meta situation.
Agreed. And what's also interesting is that, hey, in that 1v2 situation against Cassie, they left nothing to chance, right? Both the Paranoia as well as the Blind did come out from the Trinity side just to be able to secure and isolate the final kind of attacker. And no utility spared from that perspective. And like you called it, having invested a simple Bucky was able to strip out 3 weapons from the Trinity side, which hopefully keeps your economy at least humble from that perspective, making hopefully this bonus round for XLB a little easier to clamber over.
Should be relatively simple, but again, I can't say that for certain. Shotguns on this map is
Yeah.
just so strong. They've got a bucket and a judge. In the hands of Satnas. Speaking of Satnas, a little bit of a tidbit information. His name in game is actually Ilya Petro, aka
Oh, wow.
Mr. Something. So big fan of him, and you can see his gameplay. You can actually see that. Oh my lord! I just say that, and instantly the round goes awry. XLB just instant double opening kills, catching Trinity off guard. But Zace, oh dear God, still an issue here. Sanas tries to dash around, gets towards screens, but unaware that Zace has already taken up space, and this bonus doesn't really look like it's got much legs to it. 3 kills instantly lost. Daiki trying to hold on to something.
One enemy remaining.
It's just gonna get torn apart by XLB. It's a clean round coming from them, looking to convert this anti-bonus flawlessly.
Oh wow, look at them. Just running down. Now XLB meeting no resistance, a bit worried about the flank, a bit worried that maybe a ninja defuse comes out, but 140 more than likely just gonna get an exit frag and or drop to the bomb. They get one. Round the corner we go on to Shelfa. Nice paranoia, but no cigar. And 4 stand for XLB.
4 still standing, that's not too shabby, I like that. You know, you keep 4 players alive, only a single player has to go for a rebuy.
One enemy
And this is
remaining.
lovely stuff coming in from XLB, right? It's just a great pop on towards this A side, understanding that, hey, it's gonna be difficult for Trinity with double duelists to hold back the flood of XLB, if not
Yep.
for heavy presence. And it's a good
I
read
got
from
there,
Siren.
RoSEA.
Gets themselves that first round on the board, and looks like they're gonna go back to what works. But the op in hands of
Whoa.
Decoy, this could be something here.
That's a big one. Decoy now perched onto the screen a bit
back
far back and already broke off the sideline with Casey, but the Bucky in hand will meet their demise.
Tank, low HP though. Daiki now understanding that there's a bit of an opportunity here.
Down A.
Double kill found. That's incredible stuff from Daiki, managing to take water out of thin air. Zace now just accelerating
enemy
towards the
remaining.
speed. About 140 is got it like a shot. Beautiful sidestep as well. Trinity, after losing on towards that A side, they change up the setup just a little bit. Stuff the initial push, catch them on the rotate. Daiki one to create all that chaos that comes off.
Spike down.
Yeah, I felt like that rotation over to that B side was a bit of an afterthought. You know, the Daiki really nice 1v3 situation, able to take down 2 names once that wall dropped and their own wall dropped, I believe, and using that to the advantage meant a surprise sneak attack onto the Heaven players. And
Watch me.
after that, XLB just kind of say, hey, rotate to B. 140 was there to meet them with loving arms, to say the least. Now Decoy once again will be kind of tested here. I wonder if Casey will make the same routing. No, Heaven control is maybe a bit more important. They want to be able to shove out the judge player that's sneaking around this corner.
What? Okay, Sana's just
Okay.
flicks to a wall and gets just that first opening kill.
Destroyed.
Trailblazer will spot out a lot of presence, flash in just to buy a bit of time. Satnas has repositioned though, holding for an initial push. Trinity aware that Heaven has been compromised, but they're not too worried about it. They've still got the up in hands of Decoy here. Zace trying to make some space in towards spawn. Oh dear, it's a little bit awkward. The tank
Don't miss me
trying to
too
bail out
much.
his teammate, but Decoy has been spotted. Up in hands
Slow down.
of this
Spike
Waylay,
down,
and he's
A.
putting on a show. Drops the spike. Understands that there's a flank of a player potentially coming around the
Enemy
corner.
remaining.
Sneaks in for a headshot at the Casilsi. Destruction here on A. Time and time again. The flower pot. Satnas will just jump straight on him. A scream of approval here as Trinity gets
I
up
feel
to
good.
4
Go,
rounds
go,
here
go.
up against XLB's 1.
Oh, that one flick. I mean, firstly, the one from here, Satnas, incredible kind of luck by their side, and Decoy finding 2 shots in this second one in particular. The headshot on a micro flick of a fraction of a second, causing a timeout from XLB very early on, 5 rounds in, and they want to be able to put a stem to it. So far, they've only really tested the likes of this A site, trying to route their way into various methods. They've done one successful kind of overrun by means of just basically running, I believe it was Decoy down as fast as possible. But apart from that, they've kind of not really been able to work this side of the map as efficiently as you'd imagine.
Yeah, I agree, right? They found a bit of success initially towards that A side, but after that, I think it's a small little change up in the Trinity defense. Not really putting too many players up close on the front of A main. Instead, they're heavy towards ramps, towards heaven, preventing, XLB from getting that space for free, forcing them to use utility, forcing them to slow down the pace, and then Trinity slowly shrinks the map around them. So it's lovely stuff. Great adaptations and reads from Trinity so far. It's a bit of a pause in the action here as XLB take that time out.
To win.
Most likely gonna explore the other parts of this map, and Trinity expecting that. They've got 3 players down towards mid, ready for this initial fight. It's a bit of an eco round, so Decoy looking to farm up some eco kills here.
Double push the way up. The operator shot goes Orion. Xiaofeng just collects with a couple FTs right there. Oh, the caster curse is coming so true right now.
Oh, but Tank has to just manage things. Drops his gun. All right.
Spike planted.
That up again, sir. Siren spotted out. Good information. How did they navigate this one? 2 versus 5. 140 catches them running back. Spec planted on the A side. 2 versus 3 now as Batank takes up space. But a couple pieces of utility in his belt. Styron calling his team towards the site. We've got Casilsi in a bit of an advanced position in towards screens. Let's see if 140 is wary of that potential. Slowly clearing things out. Casilsi now turns his attention towards the sites. Convergent pass now invested, but Tank avoids it. It's a big ultimate wasted, but audio cues being heard. 140 knows he's right around the corner, but nothing that he can do here. Spam through the smoke, and the smoke is just gonna be enough that stalls 140, unable to go for any sort of a fight here. Tank will try to save his weapon. 140 goes down as a result of that, and somehow XLB just went out the Thrifty run after a beautiful triple kill down towards mid.
Yeah, that's so surprising, not unsurprising that Xiaofeng just comes up sharp. I mean, we talked about Xiaofeng really needing to step up against the likes of Trinity, and lo and behold, on the Thrifty round, a couple of nice share shots, and FT right there with them as well. Casey as well. I mean, just why buy up when you have aim like that, Golden?
Yeah, baited Trinity into a false sense of security down mid, and then the triple swing came through. Back again towards heavy A presence. Decoy makes his presence known with the AWP. Trailblazer close on his heels. Evades in towards the vents. Viper's Pit now down towards mid. Oh dear, Casilsi has just walked in towards the site. Catch Batank. Bit of a shoulder exposed, side of his head. Now chopped off. And it's all just a fake. Look at this.
Yeah.
Zace takes up the space. The rotate is back towards the side. And Zace still on for more kills. Traded out eventually by Satnas, but damage has been done. And the site has been compromised. Both controllers now fully control that B site. Trinity now have to somehow pull off this man deficit victory here. 2 ultimates though. Overdrive as well as the convergent paths could give them an opportunity.
They'll have to really come together for one of this. Plant's not even, the spike's not even down yet. They're preemptively using to bait it out, and Daiki will fall to the kind of the calls for it. But now Overdrive online, 4 to their name, looking for a fifth. An ace on the line right now for Sanat. Being able to secure themselves.
Is fired up. An ace here on the B side just when you thought that XLB had the advantage. Had the positioning. It's truly unfortunate for XLB that they've fumbled the bag here. 2 versus 4. Sana just sends them in for a whirlwind of pain.
1 enemy remaining. Spike down.
Unbelievable. You think it would have to go XLB's way after having played around with the hearts and minds across this entire map, getting opening frags, but it's now Decoy finding 2 of their own as a fight back.
Oh dear, he's stuck in the flower pot, has to get out of there, and he does! But Tank now flashes in for his teammate to come through. Is Decoy again with a third? Low HP, Xiaofeng eventually trades him out, but Nike's there for the immediate answer. So Trinity right back to winning ways. XLB switch up towards that A side again, hoping that this fast-paced approach might catch him off guard, but no, instead they walk into the meat blender.
The Decoy has been such an anchor here on this A side, right? Just understanding timings to get a nice couple of early frags and advantage for themselves. XLB, they had a nice read during the last couple of rounds, but it was Trinity that really were able to step up and kind of stem any sort of resurgence from the XLB folks.
Resurgence is exactly what XLB need here right now. 2 and 6 on the attacking side. The last time that these two teams played, both won out the attacking sides. But they look to win it out here. And Styron trying to throw in a bit of a fake towards that A side, gets immediately chopped down. Daiki lines up a double kill, triple in fact. Crosshair was kind of thrown apart, but he chooses his targets perfectly so. 1 versus 3 now. Xiaofeng has got the spike in his hands. He's got some time to work around with, but Trinity very active here for the reclear.
Going for a bit of a tour around this map, looking at all the tourist hotspots to be seen. Actually making the way now that Trinity has kind of slow cleared this B site together with the initial pairing outside of A, using that pop flash to just make quick work of the lurk outside of that A main. They should kind of know that it's going to be this A site that the spike eventually lands up into, especially with 140 wrapped around the entire map as well.
All right, Xiaofeng, let's see what you've got. Absolutely nothing. Never mind. DK is already right around the corner. So another round, very well handled by Trinity. Good early fight towards A main. Get them that advantage. Bit of a scuffle down towards mid, but it's Daiki to pick up that triple kill that really hurt XLB's attempts here towards furthering their endeavors on this attacking side. It's 7-2 now. And with the double duelist compositions, historically, XLB have been very proficient on the attack side. So far, they've been struggling. Only 2 rounds. It's not going to be enough. Maybe 4 or 5 would be good, but they've got to lock in right now. Got the gun buys in. Zace has got his ultimates. Let's see what they can string together.
Yeah, it'll be tough for them as well because look, it's a struggle by light shields for a few of these players. And now a new look from XLB, right? Trying to work the map a little bit. Got some presence being made known in this mid space, maybe with the smokes as well as the flash coming in through. Even sending the dog is Styron. And no one's triggering that kind of trap play from the side of Trinity on that B garage site.
It's the wrong read, right? So it's a bit of a retake setup on the side. Styron will try to find an opening for his team, and he will. Daiki, that's a big pick to find. Mid is compromised now. A lot of space to work around with. Nobody in mid for Trinity, so a lot of question marks there. They're really insistent on this garage crunch. Eventually, Styron's going to be sneaking up. Smoke in towards the top of heaven. Decoy's just going to take the space. Oh no, doesn't clear the corner. FT will punish. Trinity finally showing a little bit of nervousness. Getting caught on different parts of the map. This slower
Spike planted.
approach from XLB has been doing great work. But Tank sneaks in to the back of sight. He catch one off guard. Steadies his aim. He's got to wait for his teammate to come in. The 140. Apart from the action for the time being. Now slowly coming in towards heaven. No. Chooses to back his teammate up. Got a smoke in his hands. No paranoia available. The flash is great though. Smoke comes in on the spike. Swing from Styron. Good for the job. Just a touch of damage on towards the body. It's good enough. 140 now sticking the defuse.
No drama.
Eventually, the spams will come through, assisted by the snake bite. Styron with a quad kill. The IGL putting up numbers.
Yeah, I mean, it was a nice early pick from Styron, and I kind of expected Trinity to maybe pull that garage trap just a little bit quicker to regain that map space, given that, you know, they've lost so much A heaven plus mid control, and unfortunately, you know, checking corners will be the demise of them, unfortunately. And the rest is a bit of a history, especially with 140 being snake bite at that tail end. Just one bullet will meet their demise. So now, coming towards the tail end, couple of last rounds here for the first half. XLB managed to scramble one more to their name, but a couple more would be more comfortable to say the least. Early presence being made known outside of B, but a lot of players just waiting for the rotations outside of A to start things off.
Again, it's going to be Styron that's trying to pull a little bit of a fake. At least show presence, right? He picks up that orb. He's got the Seekers now. By himself. Initiator lurking on the different side of the map from his team. And slowly and steadily, he will gain a little bit of control down towards mid. Flashing towards the vents. Feigns a bit of presence. Might force Trinity in for an unfavorable fight. Given that they have lost mid. And that's exactly what's happening here. Decoy spots out presence down towards A. He's only got himself though. Has to just buy some time. Conversion path just to slow things down a little bit. Somehow isolates the first. Gets an opening pick. Difficult for the second though, but Tank goes down without a single frag, so advantage in XLB's favor. Sliding through, Sarnas wants to take up the space again. Viper's Pit though invested in Kastilsi. Drops in a beautiful shot downrange. 2 versus 4 now for Trinity. Sneaking in from other sides. Cutting off this side. Kastilsi stuck in this corner. Daiki with a good clear. Now becomes the issue, the main problem here, the Viper's Pit. How do they get through this? They don't have much utility. They just have to run in straight. Tap of the spike, just to bait a reaction. Daiki, smokes and mirrors. Smokes available. Molly's great though, flushes them out. Oh, but Daiki lands a crazy headshot. How are they pulling this over the line? They have to stick it now. Right around the corner, the spam comes in. 140 with the close. How does Trinity convert this 2 versus 4? It's devastating work. Trinity on top again.
How do they keep doing
Last
this the
round
second
in the
time an unfavorable retake occurs? And it's just non-stop. I mean, Xiaofeng's from the shadows inserting themselves backside was a beautiful pincer maneuver onto this A. And what should have been a done deal shot with the snake bite coming in the midst of a Viper's Pit. I almost thought FT was Daiki was about to lose it as well, but the vulnerability just stepped off. And was able
the
to live
timing
to
was
tell another tale.
insane. It was basically operating on a single digit of HP as his HP went up, as he jumped into the snake bite. Oh my lord. Just the margins of this victory here, but back again, XLB insistent, very towards mid. Flash in, but Daiki playing within the smoke, aware of that potential. Decoy can't answer back, but he might be able to catch a second player. Kastilsi goes down. Delay attempt here in towards the heavens. Seekers come through. Sana slides in. 140, the one to find that pick. It drops the spike as
One
well.
enemy remaining.
Last player in towards the site itself. Both foemans flashed up. Where's the TP gone? Next side is the call. And again, the Omens trading teleports and paranoias, but at the end of the day, Trinity come out on top, victorious in this half. A dominating 9-3 scoreline. A beautiful dissection of XLB's attempts.
Yeah, a far cry from what we've seen in the previous series to come. I mean, Trinity so far able to make some really good adjustments on the defensive half, right? You know, they put effectively Decoy up front in a lot of B situations, and the moment Decoy is kind of overrun, they've paired them up with Baten to be able to flash out and gain that map control, and even an early first kill to give himself that map advantage. And that was one of many cases where the adaptations from Trinity were able to, you know, really work their magic. XLB got 3 under their belt. Is respectable, but honestly expecting a little bit more. I felt the 3 that they got under their belt was, you know, it could have been more. There were a couple of robbed ones from Trinity, but more often than not, they seemed a little bit more telegraphed on this map.
Yeah, I think I'm a bit more of a harsher guy. I don't think 3 is enough. I think 3 is horribly.
Yeah.
It's a horrible situation for XLB. They should be better on their attacking sides. This is a map where they've shown their prowess on the attack sides. They need these attack side rounds with an attack side composition. And they've got a 66% win rate on that attacking side. Defense is only 55. So now that they swap over to the defense, which should on paper be weaker than their attack, it makes me very worried for XLB. This is not a good situation they found themselves in. And now Trinity, it's their turn to have a strong attack side with that attack side of composition. So XLB need to win out this pistol. They need to get the momentum on their side, because so far Trinity have been so proficient at shutting down everything that XLB tried to do.
And we'll see if XLB will be able to start the ball rolling by getting the pistol under their belt. I mean, the stat dropped earlier was that XLB has not gone a series, gone a map without at least getting 1 pistol per map. And look at the way Trinity are playing as well, giving absolutely 0 information right off the cuff. And actually, big rotations from XLB, right? Yeah, thinking that it's more than likely not going to be a B thing. Got the Trailblazer heading into the smoke we go. Daiki finding the first kill of the second half here to start things off.
Johnson immediately back though. He gets humbled down towards mid. It's trade of players. Viper for Viper. Satna space. Got it. Corner taken. Kastilsi finding him on the jump spot. That's a great pick to find. Zace now coming in on the flank as well. Look at all the Trinity members. They're all in the smoke. Trying to play around it with a pop flash at the ready from Batang. But Zace slowly clearing out the flank. This is lovely stuff. But Trinity just take the fight to XLB first. Flank issued here. Zace in a 1 versus 3. Double kill found. Last player on low HP, 140. Somehow needs to pull this away. Smokes on the spike. Taps it. Zace playing ring around the RoSEA. Spots a 140. Zace with the triple kill to tear apart Trinity. Just when Trinity thought they might be able to claw it back from the brink. It's the flank play from Zace to close things out.
It is legacy ringing true once again. XLB cannot go a map without getting at least a pistol. It's all down to some fire plays. Nice slow flank round the edge. And Zace finding one, a bit labored on the second, but playing with the food is the final tail end onto the side of 140, knowing that there's low health, could not stand to another ghost shot.
Ooh. These teams are trading blows. I mean, it's back and forth within the rounds at least. Trinity still at the lead, but XLB with the pistol which sets him up greatly. Zace with his covenant weapon.
Down, B.
The judge in the hands of the Neon. Still yet to get nerfed, and still incredibly destructive. Spike was spotted as well. Trinity members, they don't have the sky, so they're limping with low HP. Every single one of them hampered already.
Toxins going up.
Yeah, a nice accumulation of utility, the flash, the relay bolts, all coming together to really pepper them with the judge. And now with mid basically pressed all the way in, XLB looking in a very comfortable position. There's no spike plant, which means that Trinity somehow need to give their lives away or risk not having enough credits for round 3, or rather the bonus round, so they have to make something of this round work.
They'll try. Just holding out, but the flash is great. Spots out that there's at least one more player there, and I don't think XLB are too worried, right? It's a full E8 retake setup. Trinity slowly gonna walk in towards the demise here. Crossfire is being set up. We'll try to give them a little bit of an angle, but it's just a bit of hope. Hope in the face of a judge is all just that, right? Just hope.
Please stay alive.
XLB with all their players still standing. That's a lovely second round. That's what they need to have, right, to kick off this second half. As I mentioned, the statistic still stands. XLB never losing both pistols in a map so far. They went out the second pistol. Bonus round here for XLB. They've got a judge, 2 Spectres, Guardian in the hands of Kasilsi. Not too shabby, especially considering it's split, right? It's a relatively close range map here.
Yeah. And plus, Zace already 1 away from that overdrive, and given that there's no 1B, if they venture out after a paranoia, this could be a great one to really turn the tides on this bonus. Trinity, on the other hand, putting a lot of eggs into this A basket, relatively open, although they did find one in screens. They'll have to refract, looking for a bit of an extra one. The relay bolt catches them off guard in case he does fall.
FT's trying to do something cheeky within the smoke. Thankfully, be a little bit more disciplined to go for an over-eager peek. The screen now drops. Daiki! Ooh, it's a labeled spray, but still gets it over the line eventually. Look, player from 140 now comes in towards the vents, 1 by 1. All 3 players now stuck in towards screens in the smoke. Compromised. Decoy just sneaks in. Oh dear, what's happening? Satnas bring a little bit of sanity here. I say sanity, he's running around with the judge. It's a quad kill from Satnas. And it's double digits for Trinity already.
It is indeed a bit of a messy scrim in that smoke right outside of screens, but it's Satnas who really opens things up and really crack this site for themselves. Very disciplined from their perspective, right? Not overstepping, ensuring that they have good kind of coverage from the bottom, and then playing on the smokes, especially with judges. That's the forte. That's how you want to be able to play that weapon. And that's precisely how they pick up double digits.
What is Satnas doing on his cam?
I saw that. I didn't want to comment.
I'll let you chat. I can't take this seriously anymore. This guy is just running from ramps. He's in vents. This is 129, 130 on the clock. He's already in vents from A. FT spots out the lurk of 140, but are they aware of the vents player? I think they are. He's compromised though. Eventually they will spot him. It's the judge, and he's sliding through, jumping around. Hey, thank you, Styron, for humbling him in that kind of an endeavor. 2 versus 4, Trinity. bit strung out.
One enemy
Only one player
remaining.
in the side is the tank, and he gets eliminated. A flank play from Decoy is the only thing they have here, and a spike's not even planted for his position. So XLB should be able to have a relatively clean one here. Finds a kill. Decoy knows the round is unwinnable. We'll just save his weapon for the next.
I gotta say that mid-round call was very particular. I'm pretty sure everybody heard Satnas kind of walk up, or slide up rather, into vent so quickly. But they held firm. The defenders looked forward and made sure they caught the pincer maneuver from 140 first before bringing their attention back into vents. And I think that's some of the big macro plays that Styron's really feeding into these youngsters right now, able to pick up and squash Trinity right after their bonus. So they continue to close the gap a little bit here score-wise.
Toxins going up. Toxins
He's still able to afford a bit of a buy here. Sanas, with that judge of his, should be able to afford that shoe. Bit of weaker armor for the side of Trinity, that's all they have. Seeker's now available.
Back in the
Side of Trinity. Let's see if they have what it takes here. In towards mid they go. Slow is great, forces back the players, but FT just peeking through the smoke. He's got a judge of his own.
Poison's off.
Laying down the law. Got teammates to back him up as well. Styron, the IGL, here to make sure things do not go too much more awry. Send it even further. Judges straight through.
Spike
140.
down A. Last player
Alright, a
standing.
chance here, but his teammate gets eliminated in the process. Daiki goes down towards a 140 attempt here. 1 versus 3 pre-plant on this B side, but guess what? Xiaofeng right around the pillar. Smoke here for his plant. Understanding there could be a player right around the corner.
Hid.
Played safe. Paranoia sent at the ready, but Xiaofeng with the wraparound play. Lovely stuff from XLB. For the first time, they're gonna be having the momentum on their side. Bit of an eco round now.
Maybe let's kill them before they plant next time.
Yeah, I think they've lost a couple too many rounds to sustain weaponry, so they'll have to give another one up for XLB more than likely. Some nice kind of judge plays, but it's really started off with Siron really holding down the fort in vents, not letting any further advancements, any more slides into the top side of mid. And of course the flank, or rather the slow push from 140, supported by Banten's flash, was good in that mid space as well.
He nerfed him by 20 HP. I'm assuming his name is based off the fact that the Phantom 140s you. I don't know if that's true. That's my just speculation.
I'm waiting for a chance to talk about it as well. The dreaded 140.
Ooh, that's a nice way to put it.
Toxin screen down.
Close but no cigar, this man. At least to its opponents, I guess. Okay,
Nice and
Daiki. What's this? Got a little bit of a lurk in the A side. Pressure down towards mid though. That's gonna force a bit of attention towards here. Seeker's invested down towards mid. That's gonna draw more attention. Wall in towards B, but it's the pivot in towards this A side. Daiki now in a 1 versus 1 up against the close range judge. Heaven's an issue as well. The flash is great. The
One
rockets,
enemy remaining.
from the tank, but Casilsi still lands all the damage. Casilsi picks up 4 kills. Every single one that comes in towards Heaven meets their demise up against the feature of APAC.
That was beautifully done. I mean, I slow look from getting into a position that I actually did not know was possible with that particular wall. And the Seekers actually invested to maybe turn an edge. Expensive, if you ask me, on the side of Trinity, but to breathe a little bit more with the lead. Now it's getting close though. Only 2 rounds separate XLB from Trinity, and the latter has only secured themselves one attacking win here on this split site.
Alright, XLB with the momentum. It seems like both teams, weirdly so, better on the defensive side in the head-to-head. But in towards the A side we go again. Trinity just trying to push things all the way deep.
Spike down
Daiki with
A.
the first pick. Satnas answers back. Trade on the side itself. Picks up the spike. Gonna be planted for Heaven as well. So Trinity. Oh, look at this 140 with the wraparound play. He's going all the way around towards defender spawn for the plant in towards Heaven. 2 versus 4 now. XLB very much hampered.
One enemy remaining.
By a bit of time, trying to spot out players, but as he goes for the smoke play, and the Styron sneaks in towards the site, they get chopped down 1 by 1. Trinity, solid execute here on the A side.
Indeed. I mean, Zay's really tried their best, right? But especially with the combination of a Waylay plus a Neon, Waylay able to get in as the human Sova dart refract, and then the slides from the Neon are able to really pinpoint exactly where these site players are. It makes for holding on to the site itself extremely hard. And Zay's, did get one for the troubles, paid the ultimate price eventually, and then the site quickly overrun afterwards. So a lot of ultimates for XLB is their kind of silver lining here. Quick deployment of this the Viper's Pit in this mid site. And we've got Seekers that they can use late mid game as well. And Trinity doing what Trinity does a lot, you know, letting Banten kind of explore this site a little bit, hoping for a stray bullet to catch the noggin. But now the slow creep into A commences.
Kasilsi. Oh dear, rare whiff from Kasilsi. When have we seen that happen? That's a massive whiff. Lost them the site, but Zace though answering right back. A trade onto decoy. Zace understanding there could be players crept up close to respect this touch and screen. Waits for the rest of his team to come through. Seekers. Lovely start, clears him out. Stuns in. Lightning fingers now at the ready. Identifying where they could be running from. Asana has got his own lightning and just BM in the middle of the round itself. Trinity might pay though. FT still in the server together with his teammate. Xiaofeng up in the heavens. It's all onto 140. Can he be the dazzling demise? That painful situation when you find yourself with just a dink but not the kill. Just around, just an opportunity. The DP in and the close from Trinity. 140 plays with his food in their face.
Match point.
Trinity up to 12.
Trinity up to 12 indeed. I mean, it almost got close. It almost looked like Satnas was about to pay the price for being so egregious here with some BM body shots. But 140, cool, calm, and collected, able to make the rest of these plays with a beautiful teleport in the backside. I think FT was probably not expecting it either to pop up from that mid screen.
Beautiful angle management from 140 there. He goes unsung in a lot of these games. You know, he's kind of being overshadowed by some of these crazy fraggers, but he's got a great brain on his head. And in towards the A side we go again. Might be the final nail in the coffin. See that as Zace. Double kill now found. Zace finding a little bit of life here for XLB. Double kill and the spike drop. Smoke fades.
Last player standing.
Heads up duel and FT's gonna win that out. So XLB looking like they're able to hold on for just a little bit longer. Zace triple kill. Shuts down the A side by his lonesome.
I'm out of here.
There we go, 9 rounds on the board for XLB. 3 more required for an overtime.
I mean, nice adjustment from Casey as well as Zace, right? Playing at the backside of screens, taking a leaf out of the playbook from Trinity to say, hey, let's not really work ourselves in small corners around the A side where the judge is a bit more efficient. We play around this big sites, and lo and behold, the judge, even this pre-nerf spreads are still not able to take that down, and XLB were able to hold down shop just a little bit longer. Timeout called for Trinity. First one of the series. Might as well call it here now and then. Don't want to give XLB any more space, right? They've actually clambered themselves a fair bit from a 6-round gap down to just 3. And not wanting to give them any more room to push in overtime.
Ooh, what's the timeout going to be like here for Trinity? They understand that XLB have been able to meet them. Good reactions, good adaptations to counter this A-side hold or A-side execute. They have been playing a little bit slow at times as well, being able to have some inserts across the map, whether it's down towards mid, whether it's a sneaking player from the B side as well. But both teams, you know, on their respective attack sides, very much favoring the A-side execute, the A split. There might be something on the cards here, so we've got a bit of a split in the Trinity players spread across the map.
They are they are on the save run as well, just to take note coming out from this timeout. So probably want to figure out what they want to do to maybe strip out weapons, get more alt orbs for themselves. But default look from them so far, avoiding any sort of utility, any sort of information gathering. Both flashes being used actually from the Styron to get information, none transferred information-wise. And Trinity just hold on to maybe try and bleed the clock a little bit.
Again, if you guys are not too familiar, Trinity do not have a coach. So all these timeouts are just within the 5 minutes. So yeah, I love the patience here. Slow play in towards mid. Again, they're gonna insert Daiki in. The tank gonna join up the rest of the team. Trailblazer doesn't spot anyone.
No,
Don't think it does. Alright, but Zace though, sneaking in towards the side. Time is ticking. Execute is gonna happen either way you like it or not. Flash in. That's the chance. Daiki. There we go. Opening kill found. Zace back on site though. Being a nuisance here. Oh, and Zace lines up a triple kill. They slide right into his crosshair. 2 versus 3 for the map win here. Trinity lining things up. Conversion path invested. Decoy manages to find one, but Daiki hindered as well. Spike in the open. 15 seconds left and he has to go for it. Viper's pin at the ready. Pulls it out. 9 seconds remaining. 1 HP. Picks up the spike though. In the face of disaster, Xiao Feng stands tall. Shuts down the attempt from Daiki. Forces him to use his pit. And still XLB with the round win.
Actually a little expensive for Trinity, right? They went all in, considering that they got a man advantage from the nice lurk into mid. Right, they used the Viper's Pit plus the From the Shadows to try to get themselves a bit of an advantage. But Daiki unfortunately could not make it work towards that tail end. And so XLB now step up to double digits themselves. And it's becoming increasingly close for Trinity, right? What looked like a solid start for them is looking a lot like the previous scoreline that we saw before.
Toxins going up.
There we go, Satnas. This is his trademark play from ramps to the vents. Xiao Feng is there for the answer back. Instant trade from 140 is great. Styron has to just back off, leave the site for the Trinity members. Casilsi, he's got the refrag, he's gonna go through it. Oh, backs a turn, finds the first.
Spike down, B.
Backs away. Man advantage eliminated now. 3 versus 3 as the smoke fades. Decoy sneaks around the corner, but Casilsi spots him as well. Slow comes through and Casilsi breaks his ankles. Flash in for the fight. Shut down though, slide in from Zace. It's Zace again and again and again. Double kill to close out the round. XLB. It's a 1-round game.
It is indeed. I mean, this is cutting it close. We only have 1 more round of regulation. And even though Trinity tried their best to readapt this mid space, right, they've allowed Satnas to make their way into mid, and then they push triple through this mid space as well to make sure that they don't lose too much. But holy, it's just Casey as well as Styron making waves of their own, and Zace to be able to find nice headshots towards that tail end, causing a panic timeout. This is, what, 2 timeouts in 3 rounds we're seeing from Trinity.
Yeah, it was all fun and games, you know, from Satnas ulting and, you know, shooting your opponent's body mid-round in the 2 versus 2.
Oof.
It was all fine and dandy, but now, you know, it's getting a little bit sweaty, guys. XLB, they're slowly closing the distance. 1 round is all it requires for an overtime affair, and then who knows what's gonna happen. You cannot give them the opportunity here. Second timeout now being taken. Trinity, what is the final call here that's gonna win them this map?
And so far, they like to wait out the utilities a lot from XLB. But so far, XLB respond by, you know, not over-investing. Yes, they've used the flash a few times to get some preliminary information, but, you know, with the changes in Sky, that regenerative ability just makes it easier to collect information, you know, 25, 30 seconds in as well. From a ultimate perspective, Zace, having claimed so many lives in the last few rounds, already on their overdrive once again. And that might prove deadly for Trinity.
Again, they're gonna do the same thing. The Satnas A-ramps push in towards the vents. It's almost successful, but it's only just damage. They try to find mid this time. Stein with a call for his teammates to just barrel through. The running gun from Decoy. Oh, and that's the shot of a century. How does he hit that with the bandit? Labor still lacking weapons, but he still makes it work. 4 bullets left. He's got the conversion paths as well. It's a 1v1 in male. Heads up duel. Xiao Feng adjusts. And Xiao Feng sends his team to overtime. XLB with the counter read. The fight down mid.
Sides.
And Xiao Feng with the final nail in the coffin ascended all the way past 24 rounds.
great adaptation from XLB, right? To be able to readapt, put a couple of vents, and catch Satnas off guard. And at those last moments, it was Xiaofeng who was able to really say, I thought Xiaofeng wasn't going to be able to see it because of the hand position of the weaponry on the right side. But fortunately, somehow a pixel, a color change of some sort, pushing this into overtime.
And the sidestep as well. I mean, how many times has it been Xiaofeng and Zace to claw around back for XLB? We mentioned Xiaofeng being the guy that was stepping up to the plate here. And he's given them a chance in overtime. Instant dash into the side though, Casilzi's got space. Where's the second line of the team? Decoy though answering onto Styron. The charge in the hands of Zace. Sliding in, Decoy is now stuck in a corner. But Decoy managing to find one, dashes out to safety. 3 versus 3 as the round continues on. A site slowly being approached by XLB as they'll get that spike plant. And it's an open one at that.
Spike planted.
Flank attempt potential in towards heaven if they want to, but no. XLB are just playing within their positions. 1 towards main, 2 in the site. Trinity now slowly clearing out these corners and they spot out Casilzi's position. Drops in, bit of a snake bite, forces him in the open, and just like that, advantage now given over to Trinity. Looking for a win here on this defensive side in overtime. The last 2 players separated from the issue. Xiaofeng has to come up clutch again. Xiaofeng finds all 3 kills! XLB relies on the controller. And when this man was struggling in the early stages of the playoffs, he has come up in massive impact here. Late stage in the grand finals. Into overtime. And for the first round in overtime, it's Xiaofeng to do it all.
And this first time the XLB are now in the lead. Ready to pull it away from what looked like an absolute sure win for Trinity at the half. Xiaofeng steps up when they're needed the most in that 1v3. Breaking ankles when theirs should have been broken instead. XLB now pulling out strats that we've never seen before. 4-person push into mid. FT on their lonesome. Gets 1. Not anything more though.
Trinity have to win a round on this attack side to push it into double overtime. What is this play from XLB? Quad flank. All 4 players on this flank. Is Trinity gonna get wind of this? There's nobody in CT, there's nobody in heaven. Everyone in from the flank. What is this call from Styron? They flip the sides. Now XLB going for their attack on the A side. 140 though. Gonna thin out the numbers. I think XLB have kind of overcooked this one. Way too simple for Trinity. Every single person from the same angle. And they adapt on the fly.
Switching sides.
Trinity push it to double OT.
That's a little tough for XLB, right? I mean, interesting idea. Perhaps if they had sped things up a little bit, it would have been a different story. But with already all these members from Trinity anchored down into their respective corners with these nice crossfires and blinds and stuns to really separate the crowd from the retake. The moment that first peak happened, it was just Trinity locking that down and able to push it back into double overtime.
And again we go. This time, we got a couple of seconds to breathe, Multi. Both teams taking it relatively slow. Trade of flashes in towards main. Decoy now popping his refract, going for a little bit of a scouting mission. Nothing to report back though.
Yeah, but you normally do see at least, that flash coming out. Early information gain, but no kind of dash out for the Waylay to capitalize on any information so far.
Styron back. Okay, Satnas, oh my lord. Probably gonna give Styron a bit of a heart attack. Just a sudden wall comes out right around the corner. But Satnas at the same time understanding that he could be cleared out, so just playing it safer in towards the fence with his judge. Reallocation of players, XLB heading towards B.
Yeah, indeed. Especially with Trinity finding so much information pushed out A, you have to start collapsing on this B position or this mid position. They're not sure, but now it's very well known. It's this B site.
And look at this, the insistence from Zace. Oh, 140! 140! From Omen to Omen! This time it's him with the double kill. Satnas compromised, Judge long range, how does he get double kills? Just like that, Styron now in a 1 versus 1. Where is the last player Decoy all across
I
the
got
map.
spike.
On the flank attempt.
out.
Is Styron wary of that potential? The flash in and the spike to be stuck. Decoy now with the wraparound play. Styron expects it. The jiggle peek. Lovely stuff. Decoy has a dash available. Just 1v1 up against the IGL. Dash at the ready. Tries to break the ankles of Styron, but Styron will not flinch. In the face of adversity, he lays down the law. 1v2 clutch from Styron to give XLB again that match point.
I mean, 140, I thought they had a lockdown with such an egregious teleport forward, not backwards, knowing that it's going to be the full barrage of XLB on their side, decides to push forward. And that should have been the end of it, but it's the rest of XLB that really turned up, and Styron, right, both the thinker and the shooter, laying down the law.
Captain doing work. Self-friend doing work. Whose turn is it next for XLB here? They got that match point again, Trinity. Mid control this time. Easy as you like. Not much opposition.
Slow and steady they go, right? Spike's nowhere near any sort of sight right now. They want to default their way in. And so far, just moving two duelists back to back, already Male has been conquered. And yeah, they're worried about this mid space, right? Trailblazer wants to make sure that at least some information is re-garnered from the XLB side, from Styron. And now with some information being gained, the early smoke actually being placed down from Xiaofeng just to be able to really ward off any slow peaks from this garage side.
Smokes to come in, Xiaofeng now on that elevator angle. The Trailblazer spots him out, jumps straight down into his demise. Again, Trinity with an advantage here, but it's FT. It's his turn to chime into the feed. Oh, together with Styron Trinity, they just get felled on the side. FT with a triple kill. And there we go. Daiki now left in a 1 versus 3. Impossible work. XLB. They brave the dangers in the deep dungeons. And they come out on top with a victory here. Despite them being down, what, 3-9? They had to claw back on the defensive side, push it to overtime. And they will seal away the first map of their opponents. Overtime affairs, every single one from XLB stepping up to the plate.
Unbelievable work from XLB, right? What should have been Trinity's map. They've won this in the past. They picked this map specifically first in the best of 5 in hopes to maybe to give them some confidence. And in fact, got away with 9-3 at the half on a double duelist attacker-sided map. This should have been a case closed shot. But it is true to XLB's name. They're riding a high right now that is unflinching from their perspective. A lot of hero plays, a lot of great calls from Styron to really pull them back from the brink, forcing a double overtime and sealing the deal for map 1.
There's so many instances where I feel like this map could have been closed out. It's hero rounds on hero rounds, multi-kill rounds. Every single one from XLB had their impact. And this round right there is, spamming the body. A bit premature, very premature. Xiaofeng with crazy impact into overtime for their first overtime round win. Xiaofeng doing God's work. Zace with some incredible rounds, Casilsi as well. And then just when XLB needed it, it's FT. That last round, the triple kill on the rafters of heaven. And XLB must be in heaven right now. That is an incredible map to win despite them being down 3-9 at the half ulti.
That is insane. I mean, just think about the mental resilience as well. Some of these younger players. It is a new team. Exactly, right?
Kids.
They are, and maybe not used to facing against such formidable opponents, but they've done it series after series, and once again, in the face of double overtime, right, still able to put it away with Styron leading the helm as well. It is true blue from a Dark Horse run. And this should have been their map, right? Trinity was really banking on this particular one to make it at least get themselves advantage moving to map 2. And they relied on the likes of like Daiki as well as 140, which had phenomenal rounds, right? We saw multi-kills, a lot of like 3, maybe 4 Ks from these players, plus Decoy and Baten really making good plays together, locking down that A side after some quick adjustments on their defensive half. Was really able to show up when necessary, but then they kind of fell apart on the attack side, and that's where XLB really stepped to the plate. MVP going to none other than Zace, right? The neon that breaks ankles, the neon that flies in right after at the heels of KC, who's opening up the map for themselves. 5 first kills, almost 290 ACS. It's beautifully done from Zace right now.
There's this guy, I mean, it's crazy. I mean, every single time we look at the recap of the scoreboards, I mean, it's always Zace and Casilsi with some crazy impact. And they just take turns to farm MVPs. You know, I'll say though, it's a full team effort coming in from XLB this time. Yes, Zace gets the MVP, but I have to credit a lot of those rounds to Xiaofang. That last round to FT, Styron with the calls. You know, it's not just FT by himself, it's Styron below him on the rafters. It's a team effort. Yes, there are hero rounds. Yes, there are hero multi-kills, but it's always, you know, orchestrated by some sort of an idea from Styron to send in their players, understanding what their advantages are. And it's the fact that they are those star fraggers, those star academy youth players from Bilibili Gaming, and he has put them to immaculate work here. What a comeback on the defensive side. And yeah, this is gotta be shaking up the Trinity camp, because this was their map pick. This was their most confident map that they've chosen so far, but yet it ends up in flames and smoke. It's collapsed in front of them. This is a tough pill to swallow, Multi.
It is a tough pill to swallow, and it's only going to get tougher from here on out, right? We've got the next couple of maps here in this best of 5 that have been played in the past, and Trinity didn't look so hot on them, so they'll have to spend some time here and now to really regroup both their mental as well as their strats to really bring the heat here and climb themselves back up against XLB.
Yeah, and while the players take a bit of a pause in the action to, you know, regain their composure and mentally reset, so are we as well. We're gonna go for a short little break, and when we come back, more action here at RoSEA. Stay tuned. We'll be back after this.
Map 1 dusted off after a double overtime and an insane comeback from a 3-9 deficit at the first half all the way to success is XLB, turning the tides against Trinity and rewriting the scripts from history. We've got ourselves a bit of a match here, Colton.
Yeah, it's definitely a banger. I mean, after map 1, it was 9-3. It looked like Trinity were gonna run away with map number 1, but then XLB, after the halftime, won out the pistol round, slowly started trudging on, and every single one stepping up to the plate. It's incredible stuff from them. And yeah, this is how we end up 13-15. Again, it's going to be a super close game as it was in the first time that these two teams faced. It was 13-11 the last time. Now it's 13-15. And XLB with that first map win, especially considering the fact that Trinity gets to ban 2 maps, picks their first map, and that should have been Trinity's most confident map. The fact that XLB take it away, this is just setting up for a very good streak of XLB's rounds, especially as we head into Haven, which is going to be their pick. It's a map that they've won up against Trinity before already. So I'm assuming that there's going to be a lot of confidence here for the XLB squad. Yeah,
we've seen them basically tuck this away with decent kind of confidence, 13-8 against Trinity themselves. And plus Trinity are starting on the defense, and if you look at history, they haven't done so well on their defensive half either. So it'll be interesting if we see either of these teams make any changes. I wouldn't be surprised if Trinity makes some adjustments on their side. In the past, they did run kind of a double duelist kind of standard pick, but enough of what I'm speculating. Let's see if they shake things up a little bit. Okay, they've got Satnas on the chamber. That's a bit new. Previously was running the Neon double duelist actually, but now opting for the double controller. A shift in pace from what they showcased prior.
Yeah, back in Open Qualifiers, they did run a different composition, but the latest matchup up against Motive Esports, they did run this composition.
Yes.
With Satnas on the chamber, and it was a very interesting matchup. I think very refreshing if you're looking at Trinity's approach, because they didn't really have a lot of those full Sendy rounds, right? They don't have the double duelists that can keep up with the Neon, right? It's a chamber, it's a lot slower paced, but they actually were able to out macro Motive in that game, right? Motive ran the Phoenix as well as the Neon composition on Haven, and they kept being aggressive. Motive kept trying to find opening kills, but with the composition that Trinity had, they were very, very proficient at stopping those kinds of aggressive defensive pushes. So yeah, it's a great comp for Trinity to bring into this one. I'm not sure how it's going to fare up against the Gen G comp that XLB bring in, because they aren't super aggressive as well, right? It's only just the Neon from the side of XLB. So in my mind, this is going to be a calling differential in terms of this map, right? Who's going to have the better calling? Very condition-based compositions with Vipers. So we'll see which team actually gets the victory first. Satnas, I mentioned his name, instant finds the opening kill. Zace treats back though with a shotgun. What do you expect here? But still, it's a 1-for-1 trade. Smokes down for XLB though. Gotta play up close and personal. Trinity now forging on this retake. Daikyu with a nice pick as they flood in towards this B site. They've only left Zace tucked in towards the spike itself. Just a shotgun in his hands. Now the tank spots him out though. One by one, they face him. One by one, they'll fall. Casilsi now up against 140. He's got the nano swarms at the ready, buying himself a little bit of time as 140 now gets onto the spike. Reaches the halfway point. Casilsi needs to move fast. Casilsi needs to move now. 140 just sticking it right in his face with the smoke for his disguise. That's gonna be enough. One bullet left, and one bullet's all he's gonna need. Pistol round for Trinity.
Not too shabby. I mean, Satnas moving onto the chamber is a nice pick, right? Because of the aggression that Satnas likes to play, and that's precisely where a Sentinel like a chamber really fares well. We saw that early pick to give them the advantage, and then the slow clear from the rest of their team was nice and easy. And of course, as the old adage says, pros do not fake whatsoever, and 140 is right up with them pro-wise.
Again, Oh my lord. You can't beat the shotgun king. Zace on this Neon is just a force to be reckoned with. Daiki might be able to find one. Somehow slings away.
Toxin screen
They
down.
tried to buy him a bit of space. Hiding within the smoke though. Sheriff isn't the best
Spike
weapon
planted.
for a spam kill. He's just gonna maintain control over long. Allow his teammates to set up for this retake. XLB playing all within the sights though.
Poison
This is
orb.
a typical, this tough one. They're waiting for Decoy to make their way in. Shotty in hand though. Okay, Gandalf will be able to find one, but an early trade comes through. Zay slides out to
enemy
regroup
remaining.
with the rest of the team. Nice Bucky shot. The cell phone will seal the deal for themselves. Nice retake, honestly, from XLB. This is surprising given that they didn't have much arsenal to their name.
And there we go. It's not an eco round, not thrifty, but it's a forced buy round in a sense, right? So yeah, this is insane stuff coming through from XLV. Instantly flips the tables. And yeah, you win the pistol, you lose the second. That is even worse than just losing the pistol, right? Because now Trinity are forced to have a bit of an eco round themselves. So incredible stuff from XLV. Get themselves that victory here on that seaside. Not easy. Great understanding. Zace orchestrating a lot of it. Styron now spots up the push. Buying a bit of attention, finding good information as well. Calls to his team to head towards the A site. Zace again. An issue to be handled with. And Trinity just don't have the answer right now. This judge, this neon shotgun. You can see why it was nerfed. Drop the spike.
Yeah, you stole the words right from my mouth there. Precisely why I was nerfed now. Coming in for the retake. Trinity don't have much to their name and now losing players and Zay's already pushing up so close. Looks like it's going to be a far cry from anything. One for their troubles to deny a flawless, but it's probably all 140 can do.
Has he won the judge? Is that why he swooped it off? Yoink.
The flank though.
And
Oh,
does
wait.
Kazusi? Yeah, Kazusi saw his cape. I think.
Revealing area.
Well, they will now.
You see,
Go.
this is why heroes don't wear capes, alright? You're just giving away too much from their perspective.
Yeah. Who knows? He
Great.
might get caught in a turbine or something.
I wonder how many people get that reference, you know?
Well, answer.
The Gen Zs might not. The Gen Zs might not get that.
Yeah, a couple of Gen Zs in the server. I think we had a bit of a discussion, right? The 3 players born in 2009 here. It's Satnas, Kasilsi, and Zace. So the future is already here, guys.
Really is. And now we set our sights forward. Trinity now on the back foot here, trying to make themselves, you know, a bit more aggression. Quickly right side of that A site, so it causes the rest of XLB to push forward. Really have to see it online. And Daiki will seal the deal, but gets traded out quick.
Satnas is chiming in. Oh, and that's a lovely adjustment. Shots on the initial push, drops the spike as well.
Spike's here.
Good counter aggression from Trinity at this point. Lovely stuff to disrespect the smoke together as a team. See where the Styron is. Saw the shock dart. Trader damage. Styron's still doing a lot of damage himself. Looking for more. A decoy comes in and closes up shop. 2 rounds down to 2. Trinity and XLB trading rounds.
I mean, that's the thing about not having a waylay by your side, right? You more than often leave Zace kind of pushing on your own, and there's only so much, you know, a well-placed paranoia or a recon dart can really pull away your crosshairs. In fact, they didn't even send the recon dart, I think, when Zace first went in. So just the walls by their side was not enough, disrespecting the smoke enough for Daiki to stem the aggression from Silong.
Towards the C site, drone gets sent through. Decoy now pushing out towards A. Viper wall drops. He gets good information. No one has looked. East side though, that's an issue. 140 loses on that duel. It's a very unfortunate angle disadvantage. But Kasilsi, very cheeky corner that Seaman has given him, and for another frag to add to the tally here. Decoy just gonna walk into his crosshair. Traded out by the tank. Satnas with the spot out. 4 versus 3 now, but Seaside's compromised. Satna's forced back after the initial fight. Look at the slots in from the slide-ins from XLB, right? Zay's not even just running through. It's slower. It's a great understanding where these players could be coming from. Daiki, 1 versus 3 now. Finds the first.
Toxins going up.
Double setup here. Zay's at the ready for the slide in. Xiao Feng doesn't even need assistance. XLB. Great round coming from them. Good macro understandings. They slowly draw out the defenders and eventually will win the numbers.
Yeah, and you know, even though I think FT wanted to maybe isolate those last 1v2s with the wall, it was certainly the slide out. Sorry, Daiki who wanted to isolate it. The slide out from the Neon made sure that it was not isolated 1v1. So great adjustments. And these micro plays really are able to showcase the best of these players. Now,
Let's play.
Trinity pulling out the big guns as well. The Tour de Force online. Holding on to this A side that has been under the guard a lot, but somehow XLB just not wanting to recontest the A side. Rather go straight into the arms of Decoy, who can only get one.
Oh dear. And just like that, an answer back though. Daiki gives himself up by 140, a chance in garage. He jumps through the smoke. They don't check for him. Oh, Kasilsi somehow dodges the bullet of Satnas, but on 18 points of HP, he doesn't have the spike as well. Trinity are just gonna sit on that spike like an egg. For it. And 140 expects the rotation from Kasilsi. It's a thrifty round off the back of the Omen. Give them everything they're looking for in garage.
Yeah, I mean, when you're down on the dumps like that, you might as well make these big plays, especially with Daiki and Decoy already putting a man advantage on your backs. You might as well try to make one, and lo and behold, you do not expect. That was their smoke, by the way. That was XLB's smoke. And Trinity was just able to abuse it through the corner of it.
Yeah, I think he just walks out just as Xiao Feng TP's across, and FT is slowly creeping in behind. It's such a small timing play, but great call from 140 there. Op was being heard down towards mid. Alarm bot now put in towards the window. 140 is going to reclaim this space. Very aggressive stance from Trinity in towards this A side as well. C side is empty for the time being. XLB read that though.
Yeah, they left the operator posted here, maybe as a decoy to say, no, there's no one else around this corner, but the first shot does ring true and finds a second as well. It's a shutdown in mid.
Yeah, they don't even need 140 to do anything. Just gonna break the dart, stand his ground. Styron's tagged down low already. Oh, but he answers back. FT though, now Satna's in the corner, and Satna's still able to find another kill. Triple from the chamber. That long range up gonna pose quite a bit of issues for XLB here on this attack side. He's got his own op,
I'm out of here.
but it's not the easiest with so many angles to clear. Patang has even spotted him as well. Oh,
Deploying drone.
it's a split
30
approach
seconds left.
from XLB. Zay is just to draw attention, and Styron's gonna walk up C on just 1 point, or one shot away from death. They will get that spike down. 3 versus 2 now Trinity with all the ults that they want in this situation as well. So how do they orchestrate this one?
Yeah, deliberate attempt.
10 seconds left.
Deliberate effort
My
to
ult is ready.
formulate this retake as well. But a few seconds ago, Trinity actually pinged that C side, knowing that it's completely clear. So they rather come in together for a big win. But now, you know, things are evened out. 1v2 situation flips the tide against Trinity.
I'm out of here.
Yeah, Styron picks up that op. 1 versus 2 now. The tables have fully flipped, but Tank left in a tough spot, and Styron on just a single point of HP is gonna do him in. A trade of weapons. Doesn't matter what he's using, he will find success. And despite Satnas finding a triple kill with it op, it's still not gonna be enough. XLB, great resilience here, great calling from Styron.
Yeah, that really should have been Trinity's round, right? But I felt like their entries back in were a bit fragmented. And perhaps they didn't have the right utilities on their side to really get themselves back in together, or perhaps the body positioning was really lending a lot of 1v1s, especially against an operator, and it just fell on these individual accounts. Now with the pit deployed in mid side, right? Trinity holding on for some map control. They've really pushed the chamber deep into A side. Not sure if they still have the op with them. Yeah, but they still invested in this. Might be the last round they can have this for themselves, so they really have to make this work. Trade of drones as well, maybe to suss out this Viper's pit, but no one saw. Oh, it has been pinged out actually. Hunter's Fury now being used and deployed to maybe try and get this Viper.
Oh, the pit is dropped. Got that going for you. Killjoy ultimate now invested just to flush out even more defenders. Okay, it's not out where Decoy is. And Serena invested by Vatang just to break the Killjoy lockdown. Allows for Trinity to maintain control over towards this B site. So, that B attempt stalled out by Trinity to push back in towards this op. Satna set up.
Oh, jeez.
Wall put up as well, though.
30 seconds left.
Makes it difficult. They could cross. Xiaofeng just gonna teleport all the way back. But Satnas is still here.
Down
Teleports
A.
back towards the site. But now he's wary of Xiaofeng's position. The tank just gonna cloud heaven, unknown of where he is at the time being. Satnas now pressured. Oh, and it switches to the headhunter. Still lands his shot. Looking for more, but Casilsi keeps him honest. 2 versus 4 now for XLB. Spike is lost though, and
player
no more time
standing.
left. It's just gonna trickle out. Trinity with a great hold here on the A side.
A great hold indeed. I mean, they had the map control. They let the post up from the chamber. Satnas really make work, and unfortunately, Xiaofeng from the shadows didn't quite find the operator down A either. Had to slow lurk the way through, and eventually still got their head cut off with the headhunter. So not a lot of things went XLB's way. Yeah, you can say Trinity certainly was able to make the best out of the situation, and they certainly did, but I felt like XLB kind of fell short from their exec, waited things a little too long, didn't really explore the map fundamentally enough, and that just led to scrambling at the last few seconds. So indeed, a timeout really being called to make sure they can regroup and get them ducks in a row.
Yeah, I love the decision from Satnas to just stand there, understanding that, hey, the Omen teleport, Omen from the shadows wasn't going to detect him. And then it's just fast fingers, right? Just switching over to the headhunter.
Right.
I mean, just dispatches of them. So XLB with this timeout, they've got a couple of ultimates they can work around with. Viper's Pit could be quite pivotal in a post-plan situation. But Trinity, they've been trading rounds back and forth. Look at the last, 5, 6 rounds? It's been trading blows. Both teams unrelenting. No one getting on streaks. Satnas again here with this op. Up against a low buy here from XLB. Judge still in the hands of Zace. See if we can make it work.
Placing sentry.
The timeout now expires. Hopefully it has some wise words from coach. And that wise words looks like, yo, press W. You've done it so well on the previous map, you might as well bring the fight over to them at this moment.
Oh, here we go, the judge! It's gonna find its value. Daiki gets caught spamming the smoke, not expecting Zace to be so up close and personal. They got a flank as well coming through from the other Neon. It's while away. Zace still focusing within the site itself. Here we go, Decoy. Oh my god, back turn! Oh dear god! Tries to play the trigger discipline, instead he gets caught. Satnas with the punish onto Zace, but still the Viper's Pit poses a huge threat. How did they get past this one? Low buy round might be able to be successful here. Tap of the spike. Spam comes in and 140 goes down as a result of that. The tank forced to go for the peak instead. Will just go down. Awkward fight in the B site, and the Trinity fumbled this retake. 50 round here for XLB. Just the Viper's Pit alone is going to be enough to get them that round.
Yeah, that's worth, that's value right there from a single ultimate. I mean, Zace played themselves to an advantage, right? Catching the spam off guard, and that's super unfortunate from the lurk from the Neon as well. What you'd think to be a great kind of trigger discipline from Decoy ends up, delayed gratification not working their way. And I think it was Xiaofeng just covering Styron's backside as well, which is layers on layers. So a great job. At least for watching out all these blind spots from each other.
You want to play? Let's play.
Blind spots indeed.
Oh,
You
new look from XLB now.
And you might find yourself staring down the barrel of a couple of rounds. Both teams very insistent 50 rounds going back and forth. Op this time in the hands of the Neon. Tank. A bit of a scouting mission. Doesn't spot out a player up close though. Decoy's got to be careful of that. He's not considering that potential at all. Right around the boxes. I think anti-flash, perhaps. Not sure if there's any character to be anti-flashed up for, but now that the op is being brung. Oh, what is this from Decoy? Still lands a shot. Was that a no-scope? How does he get the kill onto Zace? Op versus Judge, and the op wins it out close range. You're kidding me.
Speechless. That should not have happened, right? XLB actually put the smoke super deep into position. The Neon there, but can't find the Judge in a close range fight against an operator.
And Decoy again on a rampage. FT though, he's here. He wants a tango. Ah, but look at this. Sa doesn't answer back. Casilci's Styron though makes things doable. It's now down to a 2 versus 2. A flank play being attempted by 140 with the wraparound play. Styron, does he consider it? Yes, he does. Perfect timing from the IGL. Father and son now duoed up in the 2v1. Daiki, IGL for his squad. Doesn't have any smokes, no utility to work around with. Spots out the alarm bot, knows that Styron is most likely down towards long. Stick it down to half. It's cautious. Spots out where Casilci is, has to win out this fight. And Casilci with the wide side step will now get bested by the pop and swing of Daiki. XLB, I think this is the first time after the last couple of rounds that they've strung 2 rounds in a row, despite them losing to a no-scope Decoy.
That was indeed a no-scope and almost getting the skewer on multiple players as well, but it is a beautiful kind of arced snakebite plus recon dart from the attacker side that really cracked open the A side, right? They had a change in pace pretty early on in terms of map control. You know, Selfham placing that deep A main smoke. It was sort of disrespected and could have led to an easier round from XLB if not for the fact of that no scope. And now Chamber will be very quickly disrespected. Okay, before you know it, yeah, it's all these players falling down, trying to have these odd angles right outside of B.
Yeah. That means the eco round, right? They're gonna go for something creative, but it's kind of disheartening when everyone just goes down in the blink of an eye. Whether it's C, long, whether it's okay. Potentially read of the situation, but answered immediately back. But yeah, again, whether it's pushing down towards mid, garage, C long, even if you're standing on top of the B side, you're still gonna get obliterated by XLV. So far, great handling of the situation, not letting these 50 rounds go too far apart. In fact, it's XLB the one that's actually a little bit more potent on these no-buy rounds, so...
Yeah. And mind you, XLB, 3 rounds ago, they were tied tick for tat, back to back, kind of back and forth score-wise, and XLB called a timeout, and we're able to change 3 together. Now we're at the tail end, looking to put a 4th to make it 8 for the first half. They really kind of changed their pace a lot, right? Zace kind of leading the charge more fearlessly than we've seen them before, especially with no other duelists by their side. Into, yes, a cursory empty C side, but now's the kind of retake situation we have to be very worried about.
Both planned here, 5 versus 5. Hatsuri in the hands of Styron. Overdrive for Satnas. Oh, not Satnas, but Decoy. And early Hatsuri. Styron's just catches Decoy. What is this? Not even waiting for the postman situation. He's just gonna thin out the numbers by himself. Damage dealt already. Everyone on Journey pretty much hampered here for this retake, and the healthiest player goes down. Zace just capitalizes off of that momentum, and it's a flawless round to close out the first half. XLB on a rampage, Styron calling out of his mind. His team is looking on fire.
Great trap play. I suspect it was actually the relay bolt that was sent out to stun these players coming in, and the Hunter's Fury just able to lock them down, sent from basically deep attacker spawn straight into defender spawn actually, and able to whittle things out. And then the battle outside garage as well, aware that there could be a flank, so just stalled out a lot of the retake momentum that Trinity wanted to bring in. Like you called it, right? Great kind of adjustments from XLB to really turn the tides. You see, Styron in the bottom left still talking in waves to make sure that they have a game plan moving into their attacking half.
Yeah, very vocal here. Trinity members. All right. Get a little bit of the blood flowing as we head over to the second half. And the last time these two teams played, well, Multi, it was XLB that started on the attack side, and they were able to get 8 rounds. So, with that being said, now that we've swapped sides, it's again gonna be very difficult for Trinity to come back into this one. It's the same scoreline, right? It's the exact same scoreline as we saw. So now that Trinity has swapped over to the attack side, do they have anything different? The last time these two teams played, Trinity had a Phoenix and a Neon. This time you only have a Chamber, so this attack side again is going to be incredibly difficult. XLB have the Genji composition, which is really good for the defense side. You've got double controllers, you've got the Killjoy with the delay utility. We'll have to wait and see, but so far, XLB lose the first pistol and they still win out 8-4 in the first half. Pistol's going to be super important here.
Yeah. Let's see if Trinity are able to break the legacy that is XLB, starting things off nice and slow. And you know, it's well noted that none of these players have flashes, right? So a lot of it is like jump peeks of the sword, trying to get rid of a lot of this base utility for the side of XLB. That will be the Killjoy. And once that's done, you know, it opens up the map for a bit more exploration, a bit more tentative kind of poke and prods that Trinity love to be able to bring to this map.
Sanas on this chamber, slowly clearing out these angles, gets an opportunity, but that opportunity disappears very quickly. Kasilsi, first shot, and an instant kill. Second one at the smoke as well. One more player in the logs though, and Trinity, alright. Off the back of the tank, gonna give themselves an advantage here in post plant. Where do they situate though? Sanas has rendezvous to be set up as well. Could go for a pick and then disappear. The tank low HP though. Has his recon dart up in just a few moments. XLB slowly orchestrating things here. Zace together with Styron sliding through and instantly dealt with. Styron now left 1 versus 2. Long range fight. Just holding things down. Daiki with the close. Triple kill for him. And a must-win pistol round here for Trinity will get converted.
I think this might be the first time XLB loses both pistol rounds. But hey, sigh of relief for Trinity, right? Able to really make a nice entrance here off the back of Daiki as well as Baten to be able to crack open this C site for themselves, and the post plant was anchored in from themselves. The scoreboard wise, you know, players really starting to peel apart from each other actually. Satnav's really leading the charge here, at least for their team, but Styron on the other side, I mean the brains and the bronze, got everything. So XLB on a bit of a light buy with the quadruple stack outside of A.
Be careful. Meanwhile, it's a full frontal force here on A long. How is Kasilsi winning things out with the bandit of all things? They call for reinforcements. Satnas now comes in. Kasilsi is still insistent. He hasn't taken a bit of damage just yet. Eventually gets chopped down just a little bit. But the reinforcements are here. Stays with the bucket. Satnas now left with 1v2. He's stunned up. It's a 50. Not a 50, I guess. But it's still a similar scene from the first half. Trinity win the pistol. They get absolutely done in on the second. Made to look like fools, Multi.
I mean, a 33% chance of picking the right one, and they basically locked in. All lining up. What could have been a mow down from Trinity ended up not going their way. Maybe surprised that the XLB folks disrespected the early smoke, popped out altogether, and like you said, bandits armed to their teeth were able to rob them of their anti-eco. So
of all
once
lanes,
again,
you don't expect A long to be the place where 4 players with pistols peek out of smokes.
Gotta go.
It's unconventional, but it works. Zace, oh dear God, he still manages to hold it down. Double kill found, and decoy. And Styron, what is that shot? Alright, now you're just styling on the opposite device. One-way smoke is pretty damning. And 1 versus 3 here. Daiki also gonna get cut down instantly. Felled. XLB double digits. 10-5. Double that.
That is nasty, right? I mean, so far, Zay's beat, whether it's save or buy round, has really been armed with either Buckies or Judges, and has more than often, in just the last map and a half, converted some of these rounds, be it whether you're on the downside or the upside, against the Trinity. And we've seen that really come into fruition, right? Zay's really making a lot of space for their team, a lot of quirky plays and off angles to really open up and get themselves a bit of an advantage.
Good damage. Molly will keep them at bay. Great stuff from Casillas. He loves this corner. Oh dear God. And FT is just gonna spam decoy out through the doors. Double hold here. Shotgun might be good enough. No, it's not. Casillas just reassumed that angle. He's got a shotgun.
21 HP, but on the other side, Cellphone does find the mark. They're still ready to check this corner. They're wary that Casillas was still there, and indeed was. So crunch time on to C now.
Oh, it's a bit of a team flash. FT's still here, and FT is still thriving. FT with a quad kill. Oh my lord. The paranoia sent through and the smoke from Xiaofeng allows FT to stay alive on the logs.
Last player standing.
I'm pretty sure I saw a paranoia from 140 as well, but I don't think it was capitalized on quick enough from the rest of their team, unfortunately.
And credit to Xiaofeng for just dropping in the smoke, buys FT just enough time. And a big timeout now being taken. This could be 2-0 for XLB in the next 2 rounds. 11-5. And Trinity just look all out of sorts. Composition not working out at all up against XLB's.
I mean, like you called it, right? Like, perhaps the chamber that you've put Satnas on the defensive could have worked. Yeah, not as many rounds as they possibly hoped on their defensive half. But now, you know, it's really starting to, unfortunately, bite them right now in terms of no flashes, not really able to clear some space aggressively now that they've swapped out the Phoenix for a chamber. It really calls on the chamber to make more aggressive plays, but we really haven't quite seen Satnas work that angle, at least on the attack half so far. It's been 4 rounds to give them some sort of space to perform. And right now, hopefully this time is going to be able to turn things around for them.
Look at the money though. It's a stinger in the hands of Decoy. Guardians, half armor, regen shield. It's really lacking here. You have to rely on someone to orchestrate opening pick. I mean, kind of a team effort to maybe draw attention and let Satnas find an opening pick, but teleports away. It's a turret right in front of him. It will get spotted out if he does try to hit towards that B side. Attention has been drawn. Let's see if Satnas or Daiki can actually find an opening pick. Xiaofeng's on. What an off angle. He's Omen teleport on top of the boxes with an Odin of all things. He's not getting out of there. He's just gonna hold mouse 1 and pray. Might not need to pray here. Oh dear. Oops, that's hurt. That's the call. Perfect stuff from Daiki. Zace though, answering right back. That's a pick. That's the mid side of the map. C is the protocol at the end of the day. Daiki now spotted out. Daiki needs to land a shot. Somehow gets away with his life as well. FT gonna be hurt. Trudging around mid.
Now Daiki, unaware that Zace will peek out, and that really opens things up for FT to secure themselves this garage retake.
Hunter 3 available for this retake attempt. What does Styron want to do with this one? Oh my lord, Zace, that is disrespectful. Zace looking for the ace, but it will get felled right at the very end. 1 versus 2 now. Hunter 3 available by the tank, but Styron just runs straight towards his counterpart. And ladies and gentlemen, that is 12 on the board. XLB have not broken a sweat in this second half. It's been absolutely perfect from them. Styron with the goated calls.
Match point.
Strewn across the map. Trinity just cannot find a footing whatsoever, despite them getting the opening pick.
Yeah, super unlucky for Xiaofeng, and Daiki was able to capitalize on that, but that's all the luck they had. Granted, yes, it was a bit of a save round for Trinity, having come out from a timeout. This is the do or die moment. They'll have to play perfectly from here on out. The second timeout actually now called. Might as well, now that their backs against the wall. Indeed.
Was it even a save? I think they fully bought into it.
They kind of forced there. There was a
They
lot
forced.
of, there was a stinger,
So-
I think, in the midst of it all.
Yeah, and they're pretty much bottomed out on their money. So in what could be the last round, they have nothing. They have no money.
Yeah, and XLB, you know, they saved a lot for the retake. That previous round didn't even have to use the Hunter's Fury to open things up, and so they have that for a nice retake as well. Granted, yeah, Viper pits on both sides, but with the Hunter's Fury, that could really shake things up and really displace Vipers out of their pits, as we've seen in the first half as well. They're only saving Grace. Actually, not saving Grace. This is XLB side with the overdrive, and that's just more guns to their guns.
Yeah. Let's take a look at the money. Oh my god, it's disgusting.
Scraping the bottom of the barrel right now. Samsung's picked up another Odin to boot, just to be able to mow down and secure and lock down that A main site and allow basically the Neon to be pushed up so far for map control.
Zace again gonna be aggressive. Viper's smoke will feign that there could be presence, but the reclear from Xiaofeng and Sewers allows Zace to focus all the attention. There's smoke here, and Trinity, they're all corralled outside of A. Xiaofeng has left Zace by his lonesome. Viper Spear at the ready for FG. He's gonna be deploying that on this B side. And this Fury Investor trying to find out where all the players outside of A are. It's Siren to lay down bolts across the map. Double kill for Siren. Zace with one more.
Here.
And this might be it. XLB gonna eliminate Trinity on their map pick. It's a whimper from the squad of the Mongolians. And XLB, from strength to strength, they take away their opponent's map pick and then they go to theirs. A dominant performance. Absolutely steamrolls Trinity on Haven.
I mean, this is XLB through and through, learning from their mistakes and stepping up to bring the fight over to Trinity.
They lost both pistols. And they still won the second round both times and then just carried that momentum. It's incredible.
I cast your memory back to like 8 rounds in. They were tied 4-4. XLB called a timeout. And words of wisdom were transferred over to the team, and they did not stop there. They gave a couple of rounds here and there for Trinity to, you know, maybe give some hopium to them. But apart from that, apart from perhaps the pistol round, it was XLB all day, every day here on the Haven map.
This lower bracket run has just been absolutely devastating, right? After that first showing in the first round of playoffs, they looked like a shell of what we expected them to be. But this team, 6-0 in the open qualifiers for a goddamn reason. They took down Trinity on that path to the playoffs. And right now, despite them losing both bans in the map veto, they've already answered back with 2 map wins in this grand finals. One more victory here on one of the next 3 maps, and we're gonna crown XLB the kings of rest of Southeast Asia. Their first appearance here in the region, and it might be their first championship as well.
Within touching distance is XLB, right? It's phenomenal. I mean, kudos to Trinity, right? They took their learnings from the last time they met XLB on Haven. They tested a new composition with motive as well, and were able to beat them out, sending them to the lower brackets. But unfortunately, just couldn't find the rhythm for themselves here on the 3 sites. They were met with too many blockades, and unfortunately, also Lady Luck perhaps not looking in the right corners at the right time. They were met with so much resistance, right, for themselves on the second half. It was tough for them to find any sort of momentum, and XLB just took an inch and made it into a yard time and time again, with the likes of Styron just calling the shots so well, so perfectly across the 3 sides.
I think if XLB would just win it out in like a 3-0 fashion, it's time to put any discussions on who the GOAT IGL is to bed.
Yeah.
Right? Styron, whether he's on motive with a full squad, you know, you can give excuses, right? Styron had like the best players in MYSG when he was on motive. This time, yes, he's got some great players, but it's inexperienced players. It's up to him to impart that wisdom, to impart his style of calling. And it seems like it's been working out beautifully in these last few games, these last few series that XLB have played. Styron has just been an absolute beast. As you mentioned, Brains and Braun, he's 20-8, 310 ACS, just beaten by his duelist by 1 ACS and 2 kills to be at the top. But again, this guy, Styron, able to orchestrate this ragtag team of raw duelists and just mold them into this masterpiece of a destruction machine up against Trinity, a team that has beaten Motive twice, a team that has scared the entire scene, right? The truth of Mongolia, basically. Like playing for such extended periods throughout Valorant's history. But again, this squad of XLB is a goddamn nightmare.
They are indeed. I mean, Zace once again, rightfully so, taking away MVP for map number 2. And I mean, looking on the other side of the fence, unfortunately, Trinity, you know, not great in terms of their scorelines either. I think I spotted 140 at the bottom of their scoreboard with like 8 kills to the name. Unfortunately, a far cry from their performance in Split. And so, yeah, they looked quite lost from that perspective. A lot of the trades weren't there from Trinity, and the break between the two maps didn't quite help their momentum either, right? It started off pretty okay, and then they kind of lost steam despite having kind of back-to-back timeouts towards the end. Couldn't string together a formidable attacking rounds against XLB.
Yeah, it's looking a little bit dire here for Trinity.
Yeah.
I'll give them a small little bit of saving grace, right? That was a map that they lost up against XLB the last time they played, right? And it was XLB's map pick. But this kind of pattern cannot continue. Next map is going to be Bind, and Trinity will have to bite down hard on their mouthpiece to be able to stand a chance here in this grand finals, to put up a fight here up against this squad, this one Xiaolong Bao squad. And we're gonna go for a short little break before we jump into the third map. So stay tuned for more action. We'll be back after the short break.
Looking at the world from the eye of the Horus. If you Alexander the Great, then I am the Porus. Coming straight from the mud like I am a lotus. So हाथियों का बल कैसे सकेगा तू मुझे रोका? देख तू कैसे मैं लड़ूं, तुम लोगों से ऐसे ना डरूं. करूं मैं जिससे मैं तरुण, पानी पे चलूं मैं जिससे मैं वरुण. चाहे मैं जीऊं या मरूं, जो करना चाहूं मैं वही तो करूं. आता है तू ना करीब, तू बेटी चीप, जब तक कटे ना तेरी ये जीप. Better believe you're gonna bleed. Pick up a seat, get your team. I'm the king of kings. Brother in arms in a battle. You all gonna die if you act like a vandal. Bring the realm to reality from every angle. This is the public service announcement from Mumbai to the rest of the world. I am a Raja. I am the Raja. भिड़ेगा तो उठेगा जनाजा ना. तू मेरी तरफ आना. आ गया तो होगा फिर तनाजा ना. ये भारतीय भाषा फिर दुनिया सुनेगी ये तराना ना. 'Cause I am the Raja. 'Cause I am the Raja. I am the. 'Cause I am the Raja. Look in my eyes, what do you see? I'm more than average, man. I'm a maverick, I can grow flowers on a barren land. Break a mountain with my bare hands and step back and cause a literal avalanche. Should've been about us traveling. अष्टभुजाएं मेरी जैसे मैं टरेंचुला. ना है कोई तोड़ मेरा जब से पूर्वजों का ज्ञान मिला. मेरे जैसा मिलेगा कोई ना तू और चाहे जो भी था सबकी कबर मैंने खोदी. क्या तुम लगाओगे बोलियां, कम पड़े गोलियां. चंद्रगुप्त में मौर्य या किला तू लोरिया. Come to me and you just gonna die. That's really a given. I am invincible and you are invisible. See, that's really a difference. Get out of my way, I'll leave the world. The choice is yours. I don't kill my enemies, I play with them. That's what the toys are for. From Mumbai to the rest of the world. I am the Raja. भिड़ेगा तो उठेगा जनाजा ना. तू मेरी तरफ आना आ गया तो होगा फिर तनाज़ाना ये भारतीय भाषा फिर दुनिया सुनेगी ये तराना ना 'Cause I am the Raja 'Cause I am the Raja
Alright guys, we are back with more Valorant action here at the grand finals of RoSEA. My name is Golden, joined with me is Multitudes, and we have just witnessed pretty much a masterclass from XLB here on the map of Haven. It was a dissection. Trinity just really didn't stand a chance. They tried to put up any bit of a force, any bit of resistance, but I think the calling from XLB, Styron actually, moving his pieces, his chess pieces across the map was absolutely perfect. It was able to counter everything that Trinity tried to do. And that leaves us here in a 2-0 lead for XLB in the grand finals. Next map's going to be Bind. It is the map choice of Trinity. So let's see if Trinity can bounce back here and maybe get a start in this grand finals.
And bounce back is the theme, right? This is actually, now that Trinity has lost 2 maps in a round, this is the most number of maps they've lost consecutively in the entire split so far. And now they have to go again. This is where the mental really plays a big factor, and they don't have a coach, which means they're purely relying off the good vibes within the team to really say, no, this is our map pick. Bind's where we really turn things around and start the reverse sweep. So here we go, right? Just to cast our eyes back, our memories back. Once again, Bind was part of the original best of 3 that Trinity and XLB played back in OQ number 2. And unfortunately, this did not go Trinity's way either.
Yeah, that map was very close as well. It was 13-11 for XLB's favor. So I wouldn't say it's a bad map for either team, but it's not a confident map, right? I think out of all the maps that these two teams have, I think Haven is one of the best for either team, and it obviously was for XLB. We saw how good they looked from strength to strength. The last time they played it, it was a 13-8. Now it's a 13-5. XLB improved on that, and I think XLB are just continuing to improve and improve time and time again. The last time they played Split, Trinity won that one out, but as we saw in that first map of the day, XLB won that out in overtime. So they've got the resilience, they've got the game plans, and they've got the firepower. I mean, that's a given. So very interested to see how Bind's gonna pan out for both these squads, most notably for Trinity, because this is do or die multi. They lose this map, grand finals will be lost as well, and XLB will be crowned the kings, the new kings of RoSEA. So taking a look at the agent composition so far, Phoenix again gonna be picked up, I think. No Phoenix. Wait, hold on a minute.
It's a different look. It's a different look for Trinity. They've dropped the Phoenix, they've dropped the Fade, and instead they're picking up the Waylay as well as the Sky, which makes it a mirror composition, right? Mirroring what XLB brought to the stage previously, and they're basically saying, look, we gotta emulate them now. We gotta bring the firepower in and see how we can use this against them. So it's basically split all over again. There's no deltas in terms of utilities and ultimates. It's how you play here on the server.
Wow, this is interesting because Decoy, you know, on that Phoenix, I think was a very scary prospect.
Right.
But now he's onto that Waylay, so you've got more of a double dive setup. And again, I'm going to be looking at Decoy, right? He's the only player essentially to have changed roles. I mean, Patank, yes, you know, from the Fade to the Sky, but I think a lot of pressure on Decoy because he is that Waylay, right? He's supposed to make those that space with Satnas. And the last time that these two teams played, Decoy is by far and away the best player in the server on Bind. He was +8, 25 and 17 on that Phoenix. Now he's on Waylay. Not as much sustainability with heals that a Phoenix has. It's more of those entry first kill potentials with his Waylay utility. So yeah, different type of duelist. So we'll see if Trinity have that in store for them. They've been looking pretty good at double duelist, but remains to be seen here. Bind is an interesting map. A lot of teleport plays available, and you gotta rely on your IGL to actually call for some really nice plays.
Yeah, and I appreciate the swap from Fade on to Sky, right? I think the recent buffs have really made Sky an indispensable info agent as well as flash agent, and you know, if you have the Sky, you can then take off the Phoenix off the Waylay, and Decoy is doing the same thing, right? Moving crosshairs away, be either via a flash or via a Waylay. So as long as Decoy is able to do that, and Satnas is able to sweep in and support the rest of the team, this might be the game plan. But again, mirror matchup means XLB are thinking about the same things, and they're going to be pressing the attacker's side first, and hopefully they obviously want to close shop in this nice 2-0. We'll be met with a strong push down this B side.
FT's gonna spot out all of that commotion. What a shot! Alright, Satnas kicking things off nice and strong. 140 and Patank also there to bolster up the team. Setting out in the open though. Yeah, not really moving too much. Oh my god. Alright, Patank. Alright, Trinity. Taking a nice pause after the second map. They're coming in, guns ablazing again. Another pistol to Trinity's side.
Yeah, you see the ecstatic 140 screaming at the bottom of the screen right there. It's gotta feel good from that perspective. It's a, you know, a bit of a convergence, right? You see all of them kind of joining in the action, getting all their ones, almost a team kill if I'm counting. Yeah, it's by a couple of players here that were deprived of their kills, but still, it's a good kind of confidence booster for Trinity, able to buy up, and now the shot calling onto the correct site as well.
Alright, let's see if Trinity fumble another second round. They've already fumbled 2 times. This one might be the third. Daiki is just gonna drop in a bit of a snake bite, buy himself a little bit of time, but Decoy there, safe out of hands. 140 can't choose which one he wants to feast upon, but eventually his teammates are gonna help him out with that endeavor. Phantom available for the pickup as well. Trinity keep all 3, or at least that key number 3 players alive and bringing the weapons for Phoenix.
Yeah, I got a little dicey, right? FT's wall really kind of prohibited visuals or any support from the first player in A main, but fortunately the rest was at least much cleaner for the side of Trinity, able to really pick up their second nice and easy, and actually bring over a significant number of weapons as well. Satnas hopping onto the Judge, which again, in these close quarter ranges that is fine within either U-Haul or Hookah, it's a super fruitful and effective gun.
Poison toxin screen down. Poison's off.
140 playing behind his own smoke for the time being. Trailblazer, early investment in this round, right? It's barely been like 10 seconds. 10 seconds. It's been a bit longer than that, but Again, lack of information. XLB have gotten control. Bonus round for them. Deep control over hookah already.
Yeah, they know these players are pushed outside of Octagon plus B. And they're trying to figure out how they can see the pings are already coming on this mini map, trying to work their magic, but already decoys in the teleport to have a sort of pinch maneuver onto these players right outside of hookah.
Alright, in towards the Octagon we go. Casilsi can't whip out his weapon in time.
Remaining.
140 from the back of sight, but instantly traded back. FT there. Zace.
Time for a
Not
protein
Zace.
shake.
Satna's the one sprinting around the map. Gonna get caught out by Xiao Feng,
Punches
so
in the
the
teeth,
anti-bonus
we spin.
going successful for XLB.
A nice recovery, right? It could have really turned the tides, especially with Trinity, with that nice pinch maneuver from the teleport. But unfortunately, it was a lot of individual fights once they erupted from the teleport, and Trinity kind of scattered into all these 1vXs that they couldn't find heads or tails over into. So good recovery from XLB to just hold firm and not panic too much, picking up their first here on the board.
Like butter, baby.
Oh, all right.
140. There we go. Hopping Waylay is not gonna be able to do too much damage. Smoke in, decoy with a blind smoke shot through it will catch on to FT. Double advantage now for Trinity. Looking to right the wrongs in the round previous.
Launching smoke.
Last three players of XLB all outside B long. It's gonna be difficult for them to pivot to a different side, right? Styron now trying to reconsider that option. He's got a minute left to cook, so might as well throw in a bit of a fake across the map. But guess what? Satnas has also pushed out of showers. He's gone very deep control. There's not much that Styron can do to really turn hits here. Three players still on Trinity defending B.
That's a big one. With Satna's position so far deep, the teleport is going to be a little less useful from that perspective. And I'm not sure if XLB are going to hop over to take that teleport over to A. But we still stop soon with this flash.
Good orbital strike there to shut things down. Daiki catches the look of Styron, so now the jig is up. Everyone corralled outside of
One enemy remaining.
Decoy. Good adjustment. Spots on the last. And Satnas with the close as well. So it's a flawless round at that. Trinity keeping the weapons nice and flush. 2-round lead.
Yeah, I wasn't quite sure what the plan was for that one, right? Yeah, a couple of shots through the smoke really dismantled XLB, and they unfortunately just wasn't able to come up with a good plan because, it was all their ducks in a row in the corner of that B long map and not able to really spread out. Styron was the one that really took a chance through market but couldn't find any kind of expose to open things up for themselves. So hey, timeout call for XLB, right? Wanting to just calm their nerves a little bit, try to figure out their mid-round calls to be able to pivot just in case their plan A doesn't work out. You gotta have a plan B, C, D, and E, and that's for them to really mull over right now.
Oh, got a lot of plan B.
Yeah, 5
got
plans.
Secondary contingency plans, right? A lot of rainy days ahead of you if you have that in store. But at least, give yourselves a chance. Time out here by Styron. I think not liking what he saw in the round previous, right? Where all of his team members were basically in the same spot. Didn't give them a lot of opportunities to pivot. And in the map like Bind, where there are teleporters, allows you to pivot a lot more frequently than other maps. You want to have a lurk on different sides of the map. So we'll see if FT becomes lurk or is Styron gonna be that lurk element. This time around, focus towards this A side of the map. Alright, convergent pass at the ready for Casilsi already. Deep brim smoke. That's for early control from the defense here. Trinity gonna put Daiki up close and personal in towards the smoke itself, but it's Decoy the one actually find that pick in towards the showers. Flash in by Styron will not falter too much. It just dry swing the smoke, and well, Trinity very happy with that outcome. They'll take it any day of the week. 140 is now pushed deep. Xiao Feng compromised. Satna's gotta be careful.
Spike down A.
And now Styron just 11 from the pitch. Will get wrapped around, and should be well managed here in the anti-ego.
Okay, not too bad. It was the thrifty for XLB, and I was half worried that they were actually going to waste the convergence path given that they're going to be up against such big weaponry. But okay, not to say the least, a couple weapons pulled out from Trinity's hands. They've got the orbital strike plus the convergence path moving into the next round as well. And if Styron picks up one more as well, that'll be Seekers for that post-plant understanding. Lots that they can work with at this moment to hopefully turn the tides and give themselves another one for the win.
Smoke's down.
Good lay of the land. Keep in mind of that. Doesn't even matter though. Sana just takes the fight straight to their opponents. This is the kind of insistency that we love to see from Trinity, that they have been making as part of their trademark style. Right? Very aggressive.
Goodbye.
Making the presence known across the map, but a foot too far across the line in the sand, you will be faced up against one of the XLB members holding you long range. 3 versus 3 now. With that kill, XLB actually have pretty solid chances here in this round, right? They are headed towards the weaker side for this defense. It's only just Patankia as the Sky. There's not much stopping utility. Just a flash, maybe a Trailblazer. So, gotta play a lot more passive.
Yeah, the big question is Batang going to be caught up by Xiangfun's orbital strike to really flush them out? That U-bend around the corner is going to be super important for them to hold on for the retake, because in no world does Batang win out that one. Yep, Kelsey just
okay.
Casey's just straight for that noggin right there and knocks that one out.
Yeah. Abusing the fact that you get out of the animation mid-air, so by the time you land, your animation is ready to shoot. Your character is ready to shoot, so the most out of his ability there. Convergent path will just stall things out even further. Drop with the smoke orb, exposes Daiki. Step by step, XLB. Back to this one. Lovely stuff from FT to hold down the aggression and close out the round.
Very, very nice. I mean, utilizing the convergence path and then calling for the, the poison orb to be dropped just to open things up for a nice kill. That push for the retake is great. Yeah, the push a little egregious, considering that there was no utility being heard from the defensive side. On the A side, there was no reason for them to push so far deep past Fountain. So that was certainly one of the pitfalls for the Trinity folks to give that round away to XLB.
Oh, there. Secure the 5th round here for Trinity, but it goes the other way. Ultimates at the ready for both of these squads. Orbital strike for XLB, Seekers on both sides, convergent paths for Trinity as well. So they've got a lot of tools to flip the script here if they find themselves in a post-plan or even man deficit. Redeployment of the Sky Smoke will disincentivize anyone from XLB headed towards that part of the map, and they are just corralled at the point in time now, headed towards A. Satnav's deep on this A short line with that op in hand. Trailblazer, no, Seekers at the ready from Siren. Gonna force him back. Yeah, just like that. Convergent pass though, this is great to stall out the push. Decoy's now compromised. Stuck inside the orbital strike. Xiaofang will fry him to pieces. Casilzi trying his best to fall on back, but no, he will get bested. Daiki has to just run in towards showers. Is being chased. He's being hunted on. Daiki still managed to pull one back. 2 versus 3. Disadvantage here for Trinity. Big disadvantage now as FT, the janitor here, gonna clean up the last remaining players. 140. 1 versus 3 as he attempts this flank, but his teammates have evaporated. And FT wary of that potential as well.
Screen down.
Spotted and dealt with FT. Again, he's been stepping up. That reliable cornerstone of this attack side. Putting up numbers, putting up rounds. 2 in a row for XLB here. Bit of a scuffle in towards the site itself. Good pounce by XLB to dislodge the off in play.
Yeah, I mean, utilizing those Seekers, and then plus, the convergence path, plus the orbital strike. Granted, it's very expensive round for XLB, but you do what you gotta do to continue and close the gap against, of all teams, Trinity. So might as well start things off with the aggression from Trinity wants to go to make some play. Early one, and Sana's can't capitalize on it, unfortunately.
Oh God, Casilzi. the spearhead and a dagger in the back at the same time. This guy, absolutely disgusting stuff. And he's even looking for playing showers. Oh my god, he'll get it. Oh god! He's got a quad kill out of nowhere. Into the site first, and also watching showers push. This guy is all over the place. And also not there at all. 140. If he can do any bit of damage, if not, I would say dying to the spike is the best outcome at this point in time. You don't want to feed this Casilsi monster any more kills. He's already pretty much damn close to his next ultimate.
Yeah, I felt like it was a Uno reverse card. You saw the refract says, nope, no you, and went back for a refract of their own, a dash in actually to catch the other Waylay on their own refract and really open up the entire map. And 140 will drop to the bomb like you called it. A flawless round for XLB and all on the shoulders of that Waylay.
Let's take a look at it again. I mean, he just jumps. Didn't see the first kill. But the second one's pretty disgusting as well, right? With all the utility being harassed, whether it's the Neon Stun or the Saturate being thrown in, there's just so much annoying utility that the defenders need to worry about before, you know, the mosquito flies in and stings you.
Oh, the mosquito, that's good. I'm gonna use that more. Because that's that's literally what Waylay is. Holy. Okay. But yeah, things are all tied back up, you know, 4-4. And XLB looking to regain a little bit of momentum here, forcing out actually the Viper's Pit proactively. Nothing heard so far from the attacker side. Just wanting to make sure that no one can maybe slow walk their way against this this Viper's wall that XLB had put down across the choke point of A main.
Yeah, I mean, XLB, I think, just expecting a bit of aggression, so they're marking for it. Now that they've seen the Viper's Pit go down, they're hedging the best towards this B side of the map. But just as I say that, Casilsi, I heard an outlaw shot, and, well, he gets felled in the feet. Not the lick of damage of Batank, so great job from Batank to actually find that opening kill. Everyone XLB re-congregating towards this B-long position. Batank at the ready. Flash being sent through the slide in from Zace. How does he move that fast? That is unexpected. Daiki gonna catch the lurk of FT in 140. Cheeky boy sneaks in just as the spike gets put down. Slinks back into hookah. Holds this space for the rest of his team to come through.
One enemy
Wall
remaining.
in from Sanas, and oh, the spam kill is gonna connect onto Zace. So a picture perfect retake happens across this B site. Siren trying to spam out the diffuser, will not be successful. Trying to save his weapon, do a bit of damage. No, it will go down at the end. Trinity maintain the lead.
I felt like the look from FT maybe not quite required, especially with the Viper's Pit kind of down. It almost locks Daiki into a longer position for the retake, mind you. And so, not the best kind of exact from XLB, possibly why they lost the round. But hey, regardless, it comes back up, you know, it's still super close. All these maps, all these rounds, my apologies. The last 3 that we have here for... Can I math? We're at 9. We're gonna 14. Okay, 5. My apologies. Yo, I am starting to lose it right now from these teams.
Alright, you gotta lose this fight in showers as well. It's Trinity with the victory here. Teleport being taken by 140 as well. Decoy drops the spike. Spots on the last. Still see at the back of sight. Can he do more? Nothing. 40 with the wraparound play. And there we go. 6-4. Trinity right back in the driver's seat.
Love the change, right? For Decoy onto this this Waylay, just to be able to use the dives and get so much information for the team. And Trinity really finding their groove here a little bit in the last couple of rounds.
Yeah, the momentum is again swinging back to Trinity's favor after a couple of rounds that XLB managed to get. Trinity have understood how to play against XLB. A side again tested. Early push on Trinity actually gains them a lot of information. No one outside of hookah. Convergent pass now invested, trying to push back anyone in A short, but Zay's already back on site. Are they aware of that though? Xiaofang, what is this fight outside of A short? Sana's only good for the one. XLB just clean up shop the last couple of
remaining.
kills. Styron there calling for assistance from Zace, sends in the stun. XLB just a concerted effort in towards this A site. You exact everything they're looking for. 140. Save enough money, he does, so might as well give it a try. Boink. Stim beacon. Spotted out, so shouldn't have too much more success here.
Smoke.
Molly at his feet. Spammed out of the round. XLB. One thing's back again.
I love the pathing as
Last
well, right? They
round
move
in
through showers, they deployed the fast lane to get all this kind of right side aim, site control. They were met with no resistance, which indicated that the couple of players that should be on the A side were going to be in front of A main / hookah, and that's where all the utility efforts were then redeployed to make sure those were flushed out. So great kind of callings from XLB to adjust based on the resistance that they didn't see actually moving into A.
By process of elimination, right? Showers and backside was clear. It's probably front of A short and U-Haul. So again we go. Early aggression from XLB forces back the B-long players. They gain control over the orb, they pick it up. But the Viper's Pit as well as Seekers available. Could use those two to gain access as well as lock down the site once they get there. 3 players though from Trinity at the ready. Over the strike. An option here to deny the spike plan. Oh no, within the site itself, 140 still alive. He's got his ultimate, but I don't think he's going to be living long enough to use it. Stun and the flash at the ready. But the spam back from XLB is just not a good bet. Trinity to go in here. Daiki, okay. In hookah. With the stingers, gonna be able to claw one back. Maintain a bit of control as the spike goes down. Trailblazer spotted out. Nice frag in. Last 2 players back off site in the Viper's Pit. But so is the spike. They have to brave it. They have to go through. Decoy. 6th Sense spots out the second to last. And on top of site, he will catch onto FT as well. What a retake coming in from Trinity. Again, similar to honestly how XLB executed the attack on the A side of the map. This time Trinity get the pieces in the right place, segregate the site thanks to the Viper's Pit. We'll go in for a retake here, isolating the members of XLB.
Yeah, it's also the shot calling to understand, okay, the pincer maneuver, it's Satna sliding out to isolate those shots, and holy, Decoy is just feeling it with the final 2 towards the end to close out the first half. 7-5. XLB at some point in time, I think was 1-up against their opponents, but Trinity were able to kind of pull it back, and they absolutely need to. They're 2 maps down, and they need this map pick to convert for themselves. So 7-5. I'm trying to look back on the previous map that the series that Trinity faced against XLB, and it was actually the exact same score. We keep coming back to history repeating itself, Colden.
Yeah, we might just, I mean, history imitates art. Life imitates art, what's the saying? You know? Lightning strikes twice.
I'm pretty sure lightning doesn't strike twice. That's the saying. But hey, if Trinity, they're looking to just like their namesake, put 3 in a row to really have the upset of the entire century. So this will be it for them. This is, again, potentially the last half we see if XLB can put it away, but not if Trinity has anything to say about it.
Yeah, same scoreline as we saw in the first time these 2 teams play on this map, albeit on different sides. Trinity historically favoring the attack side here, with the lead going into the half, looking good for them. But again, it's gonna come down to the pistol, right? Haven't seen XLB lose a lot of pistols, but in this series alone, Trinity has their number. Another crucial pistol here, XLB needed. Paul is heavy towards that A short. Trinity kick things off with Showers control or being picked up as well. But that incites the push from XLB, getting inquisitive towards A short. But Trinity just holding for that kind of aggression. D-flash on the B side towards Fountain. So that allows them for a rotate over. Fast rotate, in fact. Satnas, what is this movement? What is this aim from Satnas? Destroys the hold on the A side. He knows where the last player is. Xiaofeng in towards the U-Haul, and he's not long for this world. Triple kill from Satnas. Just like that, it seems like the round is done and dusted already.
1 enemy remaining.
Yeah, it might be over before it started. The Neon absolutely flicking like its aim lags, and now Daiki looking for more. Gets caught and shot in the back. Okay, FT making it interesting, but this is still a lot that they have to deal with. Okay, I'm
enemy
gonna
remaining.
stop talking now.
Wait a minute, Decoy now left in a 1v1. FT pulls up a crazy 1v5 ace. How did he do it? We counted around out, we counted him out, we counted XLB out. And FT 1v5 ace with the frenzy up in heaven. Ridiculous stuff here from the Viper. What the hell just happened?
Gotta go.
Electrifying performance. I mean, you let your guard down an inch and they take the entire yard. With
he
a
fed the
long range
beast.
spray as well.
This one. Not playing together, Trinity. Gonna be kicking themselves. How have they thrown away a 5 versus 1? And I said it's gonna be an important pistol. This one might go from bad to worse. Zace right in front of you. Casilsi with his own shotgun. And now you've given them the confidence. Now you've fired up the XLB squad and they're running you down. Near flawless here in the second round, and XLB just in the snap of a finger. They're back up in contention, 7-7. We're all tied up.
They are indeed. Once again, it really comes down to the mental game, and having lost that 1v5, allowing your opponent to pick up a nice ace on in the pistol of all things is a lot to swallow. So, you know, I wouldn't even mind a timeout here just to recompose ourselves, right? This is going to be the most important few rounds coming up, and Trinity need to lock in on their attacks. Couple of trades off flashes outside of showers and A right side, just to be able to get some early information, plus a deeper one near fountain, but no information there.
Man, I'd like to move forward in this series, in this map, but that round is just gonna haunt me in the back of our minds. I'm sure it's gonna haunt Trinity as well, so let's see if they have the composure that I don't. Zace, right up close and personal, and again, similar scenes, but the trade is there. Decoy now coming in from showers, and alright, Trinity gonna break apart that A short control. Spike to get planted, double flank attempted by XLB coming in together as one, but Sanas is there, tasked to hold them back. We'll see if he's gonna expect the second one, maybe the first. It should be the first, easy for him. It's just the ghost in the hands of FT.
One enemy remaining.
Still see next on bad and Satnas. Alright, they do have their composure in fact. Not gonna get too flustered, 4 players still standing. Let's not throw another 1 versus X situation. The tank goes in for the swing together with his teammate Trinity. Again, back in the lead.
Alright, bit of reprieve, bit of a professionalism here at stake. I mean, Zay's really tasked to hold deck the fort, but the methodical clearing of all these corners, especially with the aggressive kind of brimstone smoke so far deep from the defensive side, really just kind of gives away that position fairly early on. So it is Trinity just responding in kind with the right moves, with the right move sets and utility. Blinds coming in clutch from Batang to make these plays and open up the site for Trinity.
Overdrive available for Trinity. Might be a key here. Might be a fast play towards this B side. Flash in, and at the goal, we just dive straight towards the site. Refract available. The tank there with the trade frag. FT now back on site. Acknowledged. Needs to find a kill, and he will. Shuts down the push and drops the spike. But Decoy instantly on his back. 140 now tasked with the flank. 1 versus 3 from Daiki. Can this Viper put on an incredible clutch up against XLB?
Poison orb emitting.
An instant read. Look at Zace. Instantly recognizing that he could have rotated towards that ace site. My lord. He might be young, but he has a brain of an old veteran. Just like that. Round done and dusted. Caught in the open. Zace. Beautiful read of the situation. And XLB not gonna let that one slip.
I'm over them.
I mean, Zace, the moment that fast lane went out, they were starting to rotate ASAP, which really was given the deep amount of foresight that they were able to kind
player
of
standing.
say, hey, like it's more than likely that Daiki's gonna push out and wrap themselves around when you get back on side and slow walk through that lamps area and get the drop on them. And tied straight back up. XLB put one after the other to make Trinity really hunt for their food.
Heading again towards this A site. Seems like Trinity have a bit of an inkling here. I have a bit of favoritism, and I think XLB acknowledges that. They've got 4 players stacked here towards this A side. 3 into a showers. The Seekers get sent across, and so do the duelists. Sace and Kasilzi both doubling up. Triple kill between the two of them. And a great call from Styron just to hunker down and protect this A site yet again. Get instantly shut down in showers. Not a single kill found by Trinity. And this round might already be a done deal. The redeployment of the smoke, they have so much utility just to stall out any chance that Trinity want to have here.
Go, go, go!
Yeah, you're sitting on that that spike as much as possible. I mean, Cellphone used the molly pretty early on just to be able to set up that trap play with the flash, allowing the judge to sweep in precisely when you need to. 2v5 situation, there's a lot to have to deal with.
Ended.
That's one way to kick
30
things off.
seconds left.
Nike with a instant headshot on the jumping player. Second one is nice. Damage onto the third.
I have the spike.
Deal at the ready though. XLB is just gonna reclaim all of that. They've got the Valorant Pit, so 140 can do something. And they're gonna go for it. What is this? 12 seconds left. Blind spray from Styron's gonna shut down the Viper's Pit. And 140 falls as a result of that as well. Perhaps suffering from success there, baited in to use the Viper's Pit when they shouldn't have done so. I mean,
Yeah,
given false
it was
sense
a little
of security.
egregious. You have to imagine that once the spike was down in showers, that the rest of the defensives are corralled around this A side, and then to kind of step away from your brimstone to pick up the orb, and then deploy that Viper's Pit at the last few seconds is time pressuring, and I feel like, you know, maybe in another world that would have been such an insane TikTok clip, but unfortunately you gotta play the odds, and that's not in your favor.
Yeah, especially due to the time, right? If you had a bit more time, I could see a world, but as that Viper's Pit was spreading out, you had like 10 seconds to run in the site, get the spike down, and prevent yourself from being spammed out. So, yeah, I guess that's why the timer is being taken now, just to calm down the Trinity players.
Yeah.
You cannot make these kinds of mistakes, because XLB are just a couple rounds away from just winning out the entire thing.
Yeah. Really showing off an insane kind of lower bracket run. I mean, they shut Unsigned 5 out yesterday, not even pushing past a map 4, and they're looking to do that once again. Moving into round 18, right? Trinity is gonna walk into this, out of the timeout, into this new round with a lighter buy, and that maybe is calling for a bit more aggression on the XLB side to have this trap play right outside of B's hands.
Okay, early fight outside. Zace gets kind of hampered. Kasilsi will pick up the pace of his partner. Catch that opening frag onto Decoy.
I'm out of here.
Fantastic opening gambit by XLB. Gets them that opening kill and takes down one of the heavy hitters of Trinity. But the side of Trinity, they're not too faulted as well. Just walking in towards the site. Daiki's gonna get caught though. Drawing all the rotations over. They might go for a TP play here. It looks like they are kind of leaning towards that potential, but XLB, they've got no one on the B side. Trinity don't know this, so they're gonna try to get that spike down on this A side. Comes in again, also to scale up for XLB, and look at the ults. Viper's Pit, Convergent Paths, Overdrive available, and they don't even need it, I think. Yeah, one by one, they get caught out in the open. 140 with just a Sheriff, who'll try to do a little bit of damage, and that's just all it's gonna be, just one kill in the feed. Spike down, so they get a little bit of injection of cash, but still, that's XLB up to double digits.
Double digits indeed. Very methodical, right? The trap play outside of B Sands nets them one. And then FT up in A Heavens, making all this ruckus and actually inviting Cellphone to backstab the slow look Viper, who had no clue that they were right outside of defender spawn, so it is very methodical from XLB. They gathered themselves, waited for the actual spike plant, and then they went in, clearing all these corners, saving their ultimates now for the actual buy round. That is Trinity, who's looking to maybe default their way across. Meanwhile, FT looking to secure one of 4 avenues into the sites with their Viper's Pit. Nice and
I
early.
love how you laid it out, right? They saved those ults for this round. Trinity, this is their gun round. This is the round they need to win. Casilsi's brought out the X-Factor weapon here. Jump spot is good to expose its position and the fact that it is in play. So what is the reaction from Trinity? Most likely headed towards this A side of the map, but then again, you have to walk into the Viper's Pit, right? It's op on one side, Pit on the other. Showers is an avenue that Decoy has gotten control time and time again. This time, could have a chance here, but squanders the opportunity. Just spots out the player back outside. Lightning Fingers now invests Sat now spots out where the Viper is. What is this? A sixth sense from him. Reads him through the smoke and mirrors. Out of the smoke and into the fire though. Zay's gonna shut down both. Decoy stuck in a corner. Casilsi jiggles it. Drops in an up shot to the dome. 2 versus 4 now. It's Trinity. They have no control over anything. Showers fully under the remit of the Xiaolong Baos. Styron just holding back in spawn, ensuring that there's no chance for a rotate. Daiki will just have to fight his way out of this one. Lightning Fingers invested the overdrive, sends it all the way through. And while he gets felled, Casilsi's there for the trade. 11 on the board for XLB. And it's round by round, sequence by sequence. When they look down and out, there's always someone on XLB to step up.
Indeed. I mean, hearing the reload as well from Daiki, that spells basically an entrance, right, for Zace to slide right in with the overdrive. And here, some might call it overkill. Overdrive, haha. But like, for them, they want to secure this one. They don't want to give Trinity any breathing room and stifle their opposition, and that's precisely what they're doing. Using, what, 3 ultimates, I believe, in that round.
Volley. Instant reaction onto this B side. Xiaofeng is now going to get tested. Spot him out the back of sight. Jumping in, damage done. Treated back. Sting is good enough. Orbital strike and convergent paths here for a post-plant position. XLB. How did they bolster this one? Stun in, back of sight, now compromised. And it's a feed full of XLB members. Not a single kill found back. Daiki left stuck in a corner with only just the sheriff. This is 12 on the board. XLB don't break a sweat whatsoever. Everyone firing on all cylinders, and this one might be the backbreaker.
This might be the final straw on that camel's back. I mean, you look at the way XLB retook that with efficiency, right? Yes, there was a smoke that was deployed covering the entrance from their defender spawn, but they flashed out. They all took the same pathing towards the right and secured the backside of tunnel. And before you know it, they exploded from up and over and got themselves, again, within a breath's distance away from RoSEA Split 2 champions here.
Oof. Trinity, you've taken timeouts time and time again across this series, but it always feels like XLB are just 1, 2, 3 steps ahead of you. Styron has called a masterclass of a grand final so far. What seemed like it was going to be their chance to strike back with a map win. They were up 7-5, now we're 8-12 multi.
Seems like every time Trinity are able to secure themselves a bit of a lead in the first half, XLB just find themselves a bit of momentum in the second to pounce back and deny everything and anything from Trinity. Right? I mean, we're just not too long ago, it started, this half started off with a reverse ace, if that term even exists. What should have been one way was a 1v5 that went the way of XLB, and they're continuing their streak from here on out.
What is the call here? This has got to be the God call to save Trinity from disaster. From a loss in the grand finals. XLB looking to 3-0 Trinity. One of the strongest teams we have in the region. XLB on an ungodly, a demonic lower bracket run. motive out of the picture. Followed up by Rivals and then Unsigned 5. Trinity now sits atop. And you can hear a pin drop in this round. Trinity knows what's at stake. XLB not giving them an inch to play around with. Zace will hold his ground. Op trained in towards showers. Styron on the other side, marking towards the octagon.
Four toxins going up.
I'm actually a little surprised on the Trinity side that both the convergence path and the orbital strike aren't co-located. That could be a great entry so far.
Gotta go.
But at this moment, it's just, you know, a
30
lot
seconds
of...
left.
Is that a pre-orbital strike right outside of B Sands? It is. It kind of took a gamble, but it's not B. That's not anywhere close to where Trinity is.
Oh, and the pieces are starting to fall. Daiki trying to claw things back, but with 13 seconds left, they have to pull a miracle round here. Back off sight. Xiaofeng still stands. 7 seconds left. The flood comes in. XLB, they're standing in the doorway of victory at Heaven's Gate. XLB go all the way from the lower brackets to the grand finals, and from strength to strength. A Cinderella run for the books. What was touted as the future of APAC are now the newly crowned kings of RoSEA. All hail XLB.
You could not have written this better. Having entered the lower brackets after being defeated by Unsigned 5, they climb map after map, round after round, series after series, got their revenge against the likes of Unsigned 5 to meet Trinity again, who've been bested in the past. But Trinity, you know, as much as they've grown in their upper brackets, could not face the demonic run that is XLB through this lower brackets. I mean, look at FT absolutely shredding right now, on fire.
Everyone turned up when they needed to. Everyone found their moments throughout this playoffs. Whether it was Xiaofeng struggling to find his form from the open qualifiers to the first round of the playoffs, FT himself finding his first MVP performance in the lower bracket finals, and now here up against the most dangerous squad of RoSEA, and again they defy the odds. XLB, what an incredible run. I mean, led by Styron himself, the greatest IGL of all time here in RoSEA. I have to say it. This is his crowning moment as well. It's not just the whole team. I mean, the future of APAC. We've got Casilsi, we've got Zace putting on masterful performances, but it's Xiaofeng and FT to be that backbone, to be that rock for the team. Regardless of what is thrown at them, they will persevere. They've got the resilience of a star-studded squad, and it's incredible what they've done here in Split 2.
Incredible indeed. I mean, just to 3-0 series, right? We never even went to map 4 and 5. It's a repeat of the same 3 maps that they've met against from Trinity, and all these team members. I wouldn't say that there's any one shining individual from the XLB side. The scores are a lot similar to each other. Sure, maybe this last one is a bit more spread. Casey almost hitting that nice 300 ACS, but only 3 first kills, which really meant that the rest of the team are right up with them in terms of support. Like you said, the foundation of the rest of the team supports each and every single one of them, and you can see them time and time again throughout the lower brackets that they've learned to trust each other and perform at their best. And this is XLB at their best.
The Kingslayers have truly lived up to their name. I mean, slayed every single opponent. They've only lost a single series since the open qualifiers began. It was them being a bit shaky, a bit nervous, you know? You've got the stage frights, their first official game of the playoffs, the first streamed game for themselves. I kind of called it, right? If you're 16, 17-year-old kids, you know, you're under a lot of pressure, showcasing yourself for the first time on what is technically kind of an international stage. You know, you can have those games, you can have those moments, but once they got that out of the system, once they found the comfortability under the pressure, in the bright lights, on stream, in officials, they are just a force to be reckoned with, an unstoppable force, a train that is just bound for its destination and no one's gonna be able to stand in their way. Because Silsey, the MVP performance here on Bind, incredible work, but I've come to be accustomed to seeing this man's face pop up on my screen. It's either him or Zace. I mean, FT has got moments as well, Xiaofeng, but this man, I mean, he's reached a point where this is the kind of performance I expect from him.
Yeah, nothing less, right? That was presented in the head-to-head early on to say, hey, it's gonna be one of these players that really turn up and pull the rest of the team forward, and it's Zace for the first couple and Casey right at the tail end to knock it out of the park, and they really knock it out of the park. I mean, the first one was a tight one to say the least, 15-13, with a comeback from XLB and a comeback after comeback, being down at the first half. Backs against the walls, they remain cool, calm, like a cucumber. And they were able to push through and get these dubs. And I'd love to be able to tap in on their brains and figure out what is going on in their heads. I think we do have an interview coming along, Colden.
Yeah, and I do think I have a pretty good idea on who we're gonna get. So let's take a look at who we have on the other side. Well.
I got the whole team here. You can ask anything. I translate. Yeah.
Hello. Wow. I didn't think we get the pleasure of asking everyone. It feels like we're always talking to you, Siren. Every single time
Don't worry,
you're always here.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. All right.
Yeah.
I'll kick things off first. This is your whole team's first, I guess, official tournament together, and it's also your first win. So like, what are the emotions from you and your team here? I mean, what's the emotions like winning your first tournament? You know, just winning your first tournament. It's kind of crazy that you guys have put on this kind of performance in what I would say is the toughest split that we've had in history.
They asked, 他们就问 this 我们第一个比赛赢了有什么感受？就这个比赛也是很难，很多强队 ，DRA MTV 赢了有什么感受？First tournament we win, any feeling? What feeling? 哎 ，FT 有什么感受？开心啊！谢谢，说点牛逼的话。不要这样，太谦虚了。不要说多少，谢谢我的球队。This is from FT. Okay, he says like he's really happy and he's really thankful for all the team, all of us, like his teammates and just everyone that were part of the process, right? Like we have a lot of, we have coach, we have manager, we have translators, we have a lot of people like helping behind the scenes as well. Yeah.
I love it. I mean, of course, FT is super happy. You got that ace in that 1v5 situation.
Yeah, oh my god.
From Bind Heaven. So I'm so glad and again ecstatic for all of you to get your chance to perform at Southeast Asia Split 2. I mean, we've got the chance to talk to you in the past, Styron, but now that you've got the rest of the team, I know that perhaps you personally don't have any expectations in terms of where this might go, like, you know, score-wise or placing-wise, but for the rest of the team, you know, now that you've gotten here, now that you're basically victorious in the rest of Southeast Asia, does anyone in the team have any inherent expectations of where they might end up for the next phase of Split 2?
就是现在我们打赢 RoSEA 了，现在我们去打东南亚，你们有什么就在东南亚，你觉得我们打得怎么样？你说好了，你说好的，你说没有人，一开始没有人看好我们。那现在我们是冠军了，让他们等着吧。Hey, so Xiaofeng says we are going to Southeast Asia and be champions. Yeah. And then KSLC said that since at the start of the tournament, nobody really like had any expectations for us, right? But now that we are champions of RoSEA, like they can have a bit more expectations for us going into SEA. Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. We're champions of Southeast Asia. I mean, you have a title to defend, Styron, as a champion of that. And I guess you are champion again. You are the only one who's going to retain that title since the last time you played in Southeast Asia. But I just want to ask you on your journey here, because it's not easy, right? Relocating across different countries, different languages. But like, how has your journey been like from being a team with friends like Motive, right? But now you've got a full new team of players that don't even, I guess, speak your native tongue in a sense. Like, you're not as comfortable speaking Chinese or Mandarin. So like, how has that journey been like for you? How have you been able to develop yourself and still maintain the comms, still maintain the calling to such a high level?
When I chose not to continue with Motive this year, I initially wanted to just take a break for the whole year, but luckily, I guess BLG contacted me and wanted me to join their academy team, and like I thought that it was a really good chance for me to like practice Chinese, right, and maybe look for VCT team the year after in 2027. Then now that I was here, when I came here initially, I was just sort of like a stand-in for the academy team, because they had like I wasn't really part of the permanent roster, right? Because I'm here for short term. Then I was just a stand-in, and I just tried to teach them whatever I could and just practice Chinese daily. And through like the first few months that I came, I think I picked up Chinese really quickly, so it got a lot better. Then a part of like playing well and stuff, I think as long as I'm able to like convey like my thoughts, right, like how I want to play or how I want to macro, right, although okay, it might have taken a lot more time like beforehand, like in the game it might be chaotic, it might be tough, but as long as there's a little bit of time for me to prepare, I was successfully able to like play the way I wanted to play, right, like with the helps of some translators and like just a lot of time before the tournament, because this tournament started around end of April, right? So I've been in China for 4 months since then. So yeah, I picked up enough to be able to like IGL in a Chinese speaking team now.
Damn, that's insane. So it's learning Mandarin with a side quest of winning Southeast Asia.
I mean, I think I said
I'm
before,
just
like, this team, right?
Yeah.
Like, at first, I had no plans of competing this year. I really didn't have any plans of competing this year.
That's crazy.
But, just after practicing like without a goal, right? Like, because I had players like Zace and KSLC in team and FT and Xiaofeng, right? Like, I watched practice, I watched their scrims, and I think that they had a lot of potential, really like just a lot of potential. Mechanically so good, so talented. And I thought that if I register this team, coincidentally we have enough players to consider RoSEA, right? So I asked management, I asked whether this is doable, and they thought it was a good idea since I could give them experience as well. So I really believe in them, and I always told them that like as long as they play their game, they don't let nerves, pressure or whatever affect them, and they just trust in the process, we'll win. And I guess the result showed today.
Yeah, I mean, clearly you guys put on the team that you guys have formed is absolutely incredible. 3-0 Trinity, that was so scary. We thought it was going to be like a 5-mapper affair, but like you guys just dispatched them in 3. It's insane. So, okay, let me think about some.
Get some questions for my
Okay.
Yeah.
I got questions for your MVPs.
Go for it.
I got a question for MVPs. And once again, thank you for letting us interview the whole team as well. But like, is there anyone on the team that has any comments about you as an IGL? Like, and hopefully they can be frank on camera. Like, are you very strict? And you gotta ask them, by the way. And I know Mandarin, so I'm able to hear what they're saying. So I want to hear what they think about you. Yeah.
Okay. And KSLC as well.
他问现在我做指挥嘛，有什么想法就跟着我打的时候有好还是坏都说。 就是有什么好东西还是坏东西都可以说，就坦白的说，就现在我做指挥了，对。
哇！这么全面的给我指挥的一个队员，让我的一个游戏变得很轻松。
I mean, I don't know if you could hear, but he just said that there's nothing bad, right? And this is the first time he had an IGL that make him play the game so comfortably. Yeah, that's about it.
Nice. One last question to them before we let you guys go and celebrate. To Zace and Kasilsi, they've been touted as the future of APAC, right? The future of the scene. They're so young. So what are their goals? What are their expectations in VALORANT as like a career going forward?
他们问子祥跟 Zace， 就你们两个就是算是未来嘛，就现在是算是 prodigy， 你知道吗？就是天才。就你们觉得你们有什么自己的，不是心态，就你觉得自己可以去到多远，你知道吗？就 expectation for yourself， 听得懂？对，
走到多远？
对 ，what expectation for yourself？
It's tough questions you gotta ask them. They gotta ask themselves eventually, you know? We're probing them.
It's okay. Be honest. Anything. Yeah. Champions win.
All right.
Well, you've heard it from Ziz. He wants to win champions.
Bet we'll put a pin in that. We'll see him next year, I guess. What about Kasilsi?
For Kasilsi, he says let's reach the VCT stage first, tier 1 stage first. Then like that's its main goal now, and then after that he will set new goals. Yeah.
All right, sounds good then. We've got high expectations from Zace, because you'll see, you know, step by step, different approach. You dive in first, or you go step by step. But yeah, thank you so much, Starren, for the interview. Thank you for your time. Thank you for the team as well. Let them know that we are very grateful, and huge congratulations. I mean, you guys seen one for RoSEA. Headed to Split 2 and very excited to see how you guys perform. We'll be cheering you guys on, obviously. So again, thank you so much for your time and congratulations.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye. Yeah, all right. To be able to step back and give the stage to the players as well, to give them some space to express themselves here. On the internet with all these fans is truly a big deal for a lot of these young players. So it's good and really the marks and showings of a great leader.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? That he has to learn Mandarin and still like lead a team like to this kind of a situation. And I mean, yeah, it honestly sounded like he didn't really have too much options or like an idea of what he wanted to do for this year. And you know, he's learning Chinese and winning RoSEA as a side quest. And hey, it's looking great so far. And yeah, I also want to point out, did you catch that little flash on our screen?
That was different,
I'm not sure
right?
if it was like a production thing or like I haven't seen that before.
That was kind of weird. I think the transition changed. It was different from what we saw before. It was a little too fast for me to see, but that might be interesting to clip or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I felt like I saw a very familiar landmark on that split second of a screen. So maybe I might need to go back in the VOD and check it out. But hey,
Might be seeing
Maybe you
things.
guys watching could give us a little bit of an inkling of what that could be. But let's go. XLB 3-0 in the grand finals multi. Who could have thought? Who would have predicted that XLB are going to put on this kind of a performance? I mean, the Kingslayers dropping down into the lower brackets had to play the maximum amount of games you could, all while risking the tournament life. And Styron even mentioned it, right? Just as long as they play the game, they find the comfortability. It's a lot easier said than done. And the fact that he's been able to get that out of his team is remarkable as a leader.
It truly is. It truly is. And the fact that, you know, these players are able to speak up and say, hey, this IGL is the most comfortable they've made me feel playing a high-stakes, stressful game like Valorant. I mean, I feel like rage uninstalling every other ranked game, but the fact that they're able to do this with backs against their wall through a lower brackets run with basically marginal room for error, practically none, right? They cannot drop a series once they're down there, and to be able to say, hey, no, it's okay, we press on and we get our ducks in a row and we play as a team. I think that's precisely what we saw them to play, like masterclass Valorant, masterclass strats, and to be able to trust each other through their execs.
Yeah, it's absolute cinema here at VALORANT Challengers Southeast Asia, RoSEA regionals, and what an incredible sequence of events we've had throughout the playoffs, right? The two teams that represented our region previously, Motive as well as Rival, going out early in the playoffs. We had the top three of Trinity, Unsigned 5, as well as XLB. And then, you know, it's been masterclass after masterclass from both Trinity as well as XLB. And in the grand finals, when we thought that the two titans could clash into a 5-mapper affair, XLB just showed that, yes, while they're still young, there's still levels to this. And Styron, his calling is on a different level. And so, yeah, we've got two new titans that sit atop RoSEA. None from Malaysia, Singapore, but we do have one player from XLB there. So we'll take that as much as we can. But yeah, Trinity as well as XLB, our representatives going to split 2 for a chance to play in Pacific Stage 2 play-ins as well as playoffs and potentially even qualify to champions.
Indeed. And, you know, yeah, while we're able to crown XLB here in rest of Southeast Asia, it's both these teams that are representing us. Today was just a bit of a show match, a bit of a play for ego, as well as seeding. Seeding is involved, that's for sure.
Yes.
And I think it kind of shows that, you know, Trinity, while they're still able to progress into the next stage, have a few more things to work on, and this will be a good learning, right? They're not out of it yet. They're still able to take this L and progress forward, which is the best gift of all. So don't squander it. Learn from your mistakes, do the VOD reviews, and clutch in, because that's precisely what we need from the both of you to make us proud here from rest of Southeast Asia.
Yeah, our reputation on region is now in the hands of the Mongolians and one Xiaolong Bao, I guess. So very excited to see how Split 2 plays out. Again, Motive, I think they're kind of just sitting back and waiting to see how the standings plan out, because they do have some circuit points, but if they are being overtaken, then, you know, that one LCQ spot goes to whoever, you know, wins out, and the circuit points hit to hit. So yeah, it's exciting stuff, and we're only getting started, right? Split 2 is going to be starting out, I think, after Pacific Stage 1 finals concludes, which will be happening this following week. Very excited for more action there. But yeah, it's been a fun day, Multi. Any last words before we close things out?
No, absolute cinema. It's been an absolute pleasure joining along this journey to see the rise and fall of these titans, these youngins, these Gen Zs, these unks through and through the servers has been crazy, and I look forward to greater heights from all these players.
Yeah, we'll look high and above to see where our representatives land and how Southeast Asia is going to pan out. But for now, that is it here at RoSEA Split 2. It's been a pleasure. Shout out to production. Shout out to everyone organizing things behind the scenes, viewers and players alike, as well as Mr. Aldi himself. And that is us concluded for the day. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you guys next time. And we'll see you guys at Pacific Stage 1 finals as well. So take care.
One enemy remaining.
Don't miss me too much.
One enemy remaining.
We gotta stay awake.